Hey there, Detroit. I'm Bree Teamer. It's Thursday, July 24th, 91 degrees outside right now. We're live from our Fox 2 Detroit studios, and you're watching Fox 2 Detroit's Live.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
New bills moving through Lansing would allow mouth swabs to test for drugs with results in just minutes. The proposed law change has support behind it, but others are expressing concerns. Fox 2's Camila Miri explains what's at stake.
We all have family on the road, wives, brothers, sisters, mom and dad, kids.
And we want them to be safe. Keeping impaired drivers, whether it be a result of alcohol or drugs, off the road is crucial.
Honest to God, this last Saturday, I almost got hit by somebody that I thought was under the influence. And it was, I'm not going to tell you it was the scariest day of my life, but it was definitely a scary experience.
Now, some state lawmakers want police to be able to swab the mouth to test for drugs. Former Detroit Assistant Police Chief Steve Dolant.
I think it's an invasion of privacy from a citizen's perspective and from law enforcement. It helped me solve crimes.
And likely serve as a deterrent if impaired drivers know they can be tested for drugs during a traffic stop. Proponents of the testing say it's safe, reliable, and non-invasive, but those against the idea say the tests aren't accurate.
It has a significant failure rate that we are extremely concerned with. Almost 11% of all tests on the roadside produced either a false positive or a false negative. When you break it down to just the positives, so all the tests roadside that tested positive, 1 in 4 of those, almost 1 in 4 of those were incorrect.
Perhaps Billy Bazzi said it best.
Probably get it to a 99.9% accuracy, or at least somewhere in the ballpark, before sticking the stick.
And as the law stands right now, if you're pulled over for drinking and driving, you can refuse that breathalyzer. Then, of course, they will take you to a hospital and they'll have your blood drawn and use those blood alcohol content as far as the testing goes. Now, would that be the case in this situation? Of course, that remains to be seen. Still a lot of unanswered questions on this one, but we'll continue to stay on top of it. In Oak Park, Camila Miri, Fox 2 News.
Well, a worker with the Road Commission for Oakland County is killed on the job, struck by an out-of-control driver. 2 other workers were also seriously hurt. The crew was working on Orchard Lake Road just south of 11 Mile when police say a driver heading southbound crossed the median and slammed into them. Cedric Jones, a husband and father of 6, was killed. Police are still trying to determine what caused the driver to cross the median. That person is injured and was taken to the hospital for treatment. The Road Commission says it will have counselors on hand today for anyone who needs support. Well, a relief for people in West Wayne County this morning. There's been a change of plans for radioactive waste from the Manhattan Project. Wayne County Executive Warren Evans says the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has decided to send the toxic waste to Andrews, Texas, instead of Van Buren Township. Evans says he's extremely relieved by the move and praised the community for standing together to keep the dangerous material out of Wayne County. And yes, this was a very big deal when the news came out that this may be happening in Van Buren Township. So I'm sure he is relieved. Well, the criminal investigation into the alleged misuse of a $20 million state job incentive grant continues, and published reports have alleged someone close to the governor was involved. Fox 2's Tim Skubik has the very latest.
We have definitely developed probable cause.
I am very troubled by what I have come to read.
Here's what the governor and attorney general are concerned about. A $20 million job creation grant was processed by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and it's been alleged that the governor's office was somehow involved in pushing this grant throughout the legislative process. Here, for the first time, the attorney general was asked this pointed question.
Do you think Governor Whitmer is involved in this possible violation?
Look, all I can say is I have no idea the extent of anybody's involvement here.
A follow-up. Has anybody close to the governor been involved?
All I will say is, we don't have any specific targets of the investigation.
Governor Whitmer did take one question on the MEDC controversy before her press secretary moved to change the subject.
I know there's a lot going on. Any questions on medical debt to start?
The governor took a second question near the end of the scrum, but when some reporter asked about the alleged involvement of anybody in her office, this is what happened.
And I'm hopeful that the Attorney General will help in that effort.
All right, Governor, you're saying your office had nothing to do with the earmark?
Ms. Nessa was asked one final question about anybody in the governor's office being involved, and this time it was her press secretary that ended the conversation.
Tim? Hey, Tim, I think that's all we can answer on MEDC at this point.
It's unclear how long this investigation will continue on that alleged $20 million grant that was done illegally. Meanwhile, in Traverse City, the MEDC director defended the conduct of his agency, saying the agency's oversight of the money complied with legislative requirements. It should also be noted the MEDC canceled the grant last March. In Lansing, Tim Skubic, Fox 2 News.
A major win for the tenants living in rundown apartments across Detroit. A Wayne County judge has ordered Real Token, a blockchain-based real estate company, to stop collecting rent until its homes meet city code. The temporary restraining order lets tenants put their rent into escrow to be used for repairs instead. Now, it's a big step in the city's largest ever nuisance abatement case, involving more than 400 homes accused of code violations.
What is critical is that the tenants be aware that the city of Detroit is on their side, that the rent that they would pay for August should go into an escrow account, that they will receive tacked onto their door a notice that explains to them how to access the support necessary to set up the escrow account, so that they are protecting themselves from any eviction proceedings based on the non-payment of rent.
Now, according to officials, the lawsuit is the result of over 5 months of investigation, community complaints, and interagency coordination. All right, we want to take you live now to Southfield, where a police chief is giving us an update on a human trafficking case. Let's take a listen in.
Includes a USB drive of all the media files presented today. For record-keeping purposes, we ask that you complete our media sign-in sheet. Without further delay, Chief Barron.
Thank you, Lieutenant. And as always, I'm always keep saying it, I thank our media friends for joining us. We have very important information to release. I want to thank you for your patience. I know a couple stories went out yesterday involving this arrest that prompted a lot of additional media interest. One thing I'm going to say about the Southfield Police Department, we take human trafficking investigations very seriously. When you look at our police officers, they're really highly trained at recognizing the signs of human trafficking when we respond to calls for service, particularly at hotels. I've given a number of briefings about arrests at these hotels, significant incidents involving human traffickers. But one thing I want to make sure that we highlight is that our officers continue to be very aware. They understand the importance of asking probing questions, looking at body language, and they also listen for the circumstances to what we're being told. In this case, we were called to the hotel initially on a report of a malicious destruction of property, where our suspect damaged our victim's vehicle. Due to our police officers' awareness, it evolved into a human trafficking investigation. So we're announcing a significant arrest of 33-year-old Randolph Lewis, who is a resident of Arlington, Texas, who we believe to be a key human trafficking person that spans from Louisiana to Southfield. These victims, some as young as 17 years old, were coerced, threatened, and manipulated into a life of sex trafficking. Through a surveillance operation from the Southfield Police Department's Tactical Surveillance Unit, interviews and forensic evidence, and cooperation from the Oakland County Human Trafficking Task Force, we were able to build a case that led to this significant arrest. And just for reference, the Oakland County Human Trafficking Task Force consists of members from the Southfield Police Department, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, Madison Heights, and the Auburn Hills Police Department, a collective unification of officers who are really dedicated at these types of investigations. So on Monday, July 21st, at approximately 3 a.m., Southfield officers were dispatched to 26111 Telegraph at the Quality Inn Hotel on a report of a domestic disturbance involving the malicious destruction of property where a vehicle was damaged. Southfield officers arrived on scene and spoke with a 21-year-old victim who was a resident of Louisiana. The victim informed officers that Randolph Lewis broke her windshield because she didn't get him the food that he requested. So I'd imagine he sent her out to get some fast food, and the order wasn't what he desired. Lewis took the victim's property that was inside of the hotel room, damaged her vehicle, and she was highly upset about the way that she was treated, and stated to our officers that he stated to her he was not going to repair the damage to the windshield, and she would like to pursue criminal charges. And this is where the police officers began their probing. The victim stated that our suspect was staying in the hotel. When our officers responded to the room, he was already had fled the location, and there was no answer at the door. The victim further stated that Lewis had rented multiple rooms. So this was a trigger. He rented 3 rooms at the Quality Inn, which is an alarming indication of human trafficking. Southfield officers quickly determined that this was suspicious for Lewis to have access to 3 hotel rooms. The victim told officers that she planned to drive back home to Louisiana that evening. Our officers began to interview our victim about her relationship with Lewis. The victim's body language indicated that she was frightened and caught off guard by our officers' questions and initially denied being trafficked. The victim wanted to get her belongings and just travel back to Louisiana. However, she disclosed that she had been taken from Louisiana and brought to Michigan by Lewis. The victim advised that there was another female who was involved with Lewis as well. However, when we made contact with that victim, she was uncooperative. What our investigation revealed, the victim was unaware that she was in the state of Michigan at the start of the interview. The victim stated that she had been trafficked by Lewis for approximately 1 year and that the two met in Louisiana. The two would travel back and forth between Louisiana and Dallas twice per month. The victim admitted to being trafficked in both states, and prior to arriving in Southfield, she spent 3 days in Chicago. Prior to the Chicago trip, she spent 3 days in St. Louis. The victim advised officers that the reason they left Louisiana was because another woman being trafficked by Lewis called the police, which prompted him to flee the state. The local police department in Louisiana, they are aware and they are authorizing charges as we speak for Lewis, and we do expect those charges to be forthcoming. The victim stated that in the past year of being trafficked by Lewis, there's approximately 10 other victims which she was unable to provide us with information or their contact information. Detectives are actively working to identify those other victims. The victim said that Lewis has assaulted her multiple times, which resulted in her sustaining minor injuries. The victim further stated she was forced to have unconsensual sex with Lewis at least 2 times in the past year. The victim would say no. However, Lewis would ignore her request and engage in intercourse with her anyway. These incidents did not occur in Michigan. The last incident occurred about 5 months ago in the state of Louisiana. The victim would fight Lewis to prevent the sexual assaults from occurring. She would give up after becoming fatigued or succumb to the sexual assault. Lewis has prevented our victim from leaving in the past and has used other means of manipulation, such as taking her property, to control her. The victim had been staying at the Quality Inn for 3 to 4 days and has been seeing multiple clients over that span of time at the hotel. The victim advised that her services were being advertised on a commercial sex site via the internet and these sex apps. The victim stated that Lewis would take her earnings and that she would not be allowed to have money that she would receive from her clients. So we conducted a search warrant on the 3 hotel rooms at the Quality Inn. As a result, our detectives were able to discover items consistent with human trafficking, such as sex toys, sexual lubricants, and condoms. We also seized electronic devices such as phones and tablets that, again, we're going to examine to determine their relationship with human trafficking, which we believe we're going to find some significant information on those electronic devices. So as a result of our investigation, the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office has authorized the following charges on Randolph Lewis, again 33 years old, resident of Arlington, Texas. Count 1, human trafficking, enterprise resulting in injury, commercial sexual activity. Count 2, prostitution, accepting earnings. Count 3, computers using to commit a crime. Count 4 and 5, criminal sexual conduct, assault with intent to commit sexual penetration. He received a $300,000 bond, cash, GPS Chevrolet upon release. His next court date is scheduled for August 4th at 8:30 a.m. Before Judge Deborah Nance. We also know, again, that there is charges forthcoming out of the state of Louisiana. We looked at his criminal history. All of his crimes on record occurred in the state of Louisiana. He has a history of domestic assault and battery, theft, trespassing, burglary, and again, malicious destruction of property. And those cases are also pending out of Louisiana. Right now, our primary concern is the well-being and safety of the victims involved in this, and we're going to ensure that we do all we can by way of working with some of our advocacy groups and some of our other organizations to make sure they get the care that they need, certainly housing if available, and also counseling that these services often provide. I'm going to show you a video of the arrest. I'm going to show you a portion of the interview that the responding officers did the night of our investigation, just to give you a glimpse of what our victim was saying during that interview. Certainly, we're going to have her completely blocked out to secure her identity. But the most important video I'm going to show you is a video of our suspect while he's in our lockup injure himself. And what I tell you, when these suspects injure themselves in police custody, they do it for a number of reasons. One being, and you all see this play out plenty of times, that's why I love the fact that we have body cameras, they will assume that the public will believe that we assaulted them and caused the injuries, because he injured himself significantly. The second reason why they do these things is because they think it's going to delay their processing through the criminal justice system. And what I'll tell you, it's not going to work. Although he's been in the hospital since the day of this incident, because again, he injured himself right away, head injuries. He's going to still be processed. He's still been arraigned. And soon as the medical staff at the hospital determine that he is free to be discharged, he's going to be remanded to the Oakland County Jail. So again, I'm going to be doing him a favor when I show this video, because I'm going to prevent him from filing a false police report, which will be additional charges. So that's a gift I'm giving our suspect. So at this point, if we can show the first video. Again, it's a video. We can lower the lights a little bit. And remember, all this information I'm going to give to you on a thumb drive. But this is the interview the evening, 3 o'clock in the morning, of our victim as she's talking to responding officers.
So you going for your so you from down in Louisiana, and then you met him down here and you brought him up here. Is that what happened? I'm just trying to get that time frame. Okay. Are you free to leave? Like, if you want to leave right now, free to leave?
Before we met you, say yesterday, you wanted to leave, would you have prevented you from leaving in some capacity? Yeah. Taking your keys, told you no, physically locking the door, or anything like that? Yeah. Okay.
At my house,
so we were done with it. And then he had a key to my brother too. And I tried to make like football because and I told him I didn't want me to see that key. So I was just like, this nigga because he could come back anytime. So I called a friend and they wanted to my apartment.
All right, you are watching the human trafficking case involving a victim and a suspect here traveling across states to get here to Michigan in order to engage in sexual acts. The suspect is accused of forcing the victim to engage in those sexual acts. Now, what you're seeing right now is body cam footage from one of the officers on the site when the arrest took place just 3 days ago, right here in Southfield. That's the victim that is blurred out right here. We know you can't really hear what's going on here, but we want to stick with this so you can get the full picture and see what really happened here on the day of the arrest. Let's see if that audio is better. It looks like we got a different clip here.
Who's the driver? What's your name? Huh? What's your name? My name is the driver. What's the driver? Spread your feet. Spread your feet. What's your name again? Ready? What's your name? What's the problem? What's your name? What's the problem? What did you go on? What's your name?
Okay. The next video is him assaulting himself in the cell block inside of the Southfield police station. Now he gets back up and continues, keep using that word, assault himself, but that may be a little bit too disturbing to show all that, because at some point he does start bleeding. So let's turn the lights back on, and at this point I will open up the floor for questions.
Do you have then two women who are victims here, this woman you interviewed and the one who was uncooperative?
Yes, so we have the victim who initially reported the sex trafficking. We were able to make contact with a second victim that's uncooperative, and we're working leads on the remaining 8 women who we believe he's also in the process of trafficking.
And do you think that those women were all trafficked here, in those 3 rooms, or it sounds like they've made, a lot of headway all across the country?
Yeah, and the investigation has to reveal exactly where each woman is trafficked, but to answer your question, I believe it's the traveling from state to state, ranging from Louisiana, Chicago, all these different locations where our victim did disclose to us. And remember, she disclosed to us, she didn't even know she was in the state of Michigan. That's how often these traffickers move these women from state to state. And so very saddening to hear, you're talking about a 21-year-old victim. I mentioned earlier that one of the victims is 17 years old. And so these individuals have no regard. It's about profit, control, manipulation, but we're going to hold them accountable.
Was it just one victim found at the hotel then, 21-year-old?
Right, so it was one in addition to our victim that we were able to make contact with. But we do have information that there are multiple others out there that are in need of assistance.
Do you have a rough idea of how many human trafficking arrests or requests y'all have made in the last year?
Well, I'll just start off with the ones we made within the last 3 months. This will be the 4th significant arrest we've made at these hotels. And I'm glad you brought that up, because one thing I believe also occurs between the police officers understanding the questions to ask, the hotels knowing that this is a problem, and they're being trained, and also they have been a beacon of hope, a refuge for some of these victims, where they have went down to the lobby, disclosed that they were being trafficked. The manager or the clerk there would hide them temporarily in one of the rooms until law enforcement arrived. So between the cooperation from the hotels, great police work, great detective work, we're making headway, at least when you come into our city, Because I'm going to tell you, we have a Oakland County Human Trafficking Task Force, which we have a member on full-time. And we also have a part-time member of this agency assigned to the Federal Human Trafficking Task Force. So that just shows you the level of dedication we're putting into human trafficking, because we recognize this is a global, national, and local problem.
The frequency of these human trafficking cases, like you said, there's many high-profile cases in the last 3 or so months. Does that say anything about the prevalence of human trafficking here in Southfield specifically?
It talks about the country. You know, these numbers, I just read off the fact that these individuals are traveling from state to state and moving these women from state to state. When you look at Oakland County as a whole, even going into Wayne County, there's a lot of hotels. Southeast Michigan is very different from, we say, the northern part of Michigan. A lot more activity, a lot of things going on. So they use these type of platforms. Generally, they like to stay within the vicinity of a major city, operate in either the major city or the suburbs of the city. That's usually their MOs. As I mentioned, Chicago and some of these other big cities in these other states. So again, we're aware. That's why we have our FBI task force. We localized it. Certainly we'll continue to shout out Sheriff Michael Bouchard for initiating the Oakland County Human Trafficking Task Force, which we are a part of. So again, we're going to continue our work. We're going to continue our investigations, but more importantly, we're going to continue rescuing women who are victims of these traffickers.
Just this number, do you think that's evidence of more human trafficking cases happening in this area, or the police department?
All right, well, you have been watching the Southfield Police Department. The chief right here, he's giving us an update on a human trafficking case. The arrest happened just 3 days ago on July 24th. Now, the victim and suspect was originally from Louisiana. They left the Louisiana area because the suspect received a tip from someone on the phone warning him to leave the state. And that was information that was given to the department by the victim herself. Now, they traveled to Chicago, where they stayed for 3 days, and then they went to St. Louis for 3 days as well before making their way here to Michigan, more specifically Southfield. Now, by the way, the victim had no idea where she was at any point, let alone what state she was in. Over the past year, there were at least 10 other victims that she came across, but she couldn't provide any details about that. The chief did say that one of the youngest victims that the department knows of is 17 years old. The victim was forced to engage in intercourse with the suspect at least 2 times, as well as multiple other times with other individuals. The suspect is facing 4 charges in Michigan, but he's also facing charges in Louisiana. He is no stranger to crime. He has been charged and convicted of many crimes in Louisiana, including burglary and theft. Right now, the suspect is in the hospital from a self-inflicted head injury, which the department showed us video of him banging his head against that glass wall there and passing out, which the video didn't show him getting back up. But the chief did say that eventually he got back up and continued hitting his head on that wall. Now, our Amy Lang is working on this case and will bring us anything else that we need to know in our later hours of news. So be sure to stick with us right here on Fox 2 Detroit. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got some more news for you. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit's Live. You're looking live at Mackinac Island, that beautiful island that's up north in our state. 91 degrees right now in the Metro Detroit area. 1:31 is the time. Well, breaking news, wrestling star Hulk Hogan has died. And over in Clearwater, Florida, they're hosting a press conference right now to tell us a little bit more about that. Let's go there now.
To this call for service at this time. Our personnel is providing the family with the necessary resources. I'm strongly encouraging everyone to keep the family in their thoughts and respect their privacy during this difficult time. We will not be answering any questions, but we will provide additional information when it becomes available. Any public records request should be filed through our public records section with the Clearwater Police Department. No records will be released today. Our thoughts are with the family, and again, we ask everyone to respect their privacy during this difficult time. Thank you.
All right, well, not much information given to us there by the police department in Clearwater, Florida. I'm assuming that maybe the family wants some privacy right now, doesn't want to release too many details. No records have been shared. No records will be shared, as he just communicated to us. So we will be finding out right with you all right here at home. All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to regroup over here. And when we come back, we've got more news for you. Welcome back. Well, the convicted killer of 4 college students at the University of Idaho was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Brian Koberger committed this crime nearly 3 years ago, and to this day, No one knows exactly what happened or how he did it. It's really just a full-blown mystery. Now, we did hear from some of his family members and the people related to the victims. Let's take a listen to that. All right. Well, you can find more information about that online, fox2detroit.com. Everything about Mr. Brian Koberger here. Well, new developments surrounding documents from the Jeffrey Epstein case. A new report from the Wall Street Journal says President Donald Trump was informed in May that he is mentioned multiple times in the Epstein files. The Wall Street Journal also reports there were many other high-profile people named in the files. However, that doesn't automatically mean there's any wrongdoing. The president filed a lawsuit against the Journal last week over an article about a letter he allegedly sent to Epstein. House Speaker Mike Johnson deflecting criticism from Democrats that he sent lawmakers home early to avoid a vote on releasing more files. Well, Amazon is now issuing a warning to all Prime members to watch out for scammers. The warning comes following an influx of complaints about fake emails, with 2/3 of those complaints related to account problems or ordering issues. Amazon says the scammers are acting as the company in an attempt to obtain personal information. Reports say scammers text, call, or email Prime members claiming the person ordered something and ask them to verify it by providing sensitive information. Amazon says customers should verify orders on its app or website and that the company will never ask for payment over the phone or email. And, speaking of scams, an out-of-state swindler targets a woman in Macomb County. Now she's out more than $100,000, and police are warning people not to fall for it. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack has all the details.
A Shelby Township woman gets a call last February. On the other line, a man pretending to be a federal employee.
They said that someone was using her Social Security number and that there was a warrant for her arrest. They didn't really give many details.
Shelby Township Police Sergeant Kevin Bailey says the woman had a family emergency. Distracted by that, making her the perfect target. The scammer got her with this line.
You need to keep your money safe, so you need to transfer it to me. So he was able to get her to transfer over $50,000.
She did. Investigators say right into the bank account of 25-year-old Kelly Umana, who lives just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. The scheme worked once, then he allegedly went in for a double dip.
Just over $110,000.
Money that's likely gone.
Our detectives are still working, trying to get the money back, but it's one of those things that, it may be difficult to do so.
Shelby Township Police detectives followed the money, and it led to a wire transfer to Umana's bank account down south. Then security cameras and a license plate reader tracked him. He's charged with a felony and being held on a $20,000 cash bond. Incredibly rare to see justice in these cases.
Once it goes overseas, it's a lot more difficult to get any money back or to even get a suspect.
There's one golden rule to remember to prevent all of this.
No one is going to ask you for money over the phone. If anyone is asking you for money over the phone, it's a scam.
Umana is in police custody, but they are still peeling back the layers of this one. They think it's part of a broader, bigger crime ring, and there likely will be more arrests. Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Well, a local YouTuber going viral for teaching financial literacy, and now he's ready to give back to the community and provide others with the opportunity to create some real impact. Chris Sane is his name, and he joins us live in studio to tell us all about it. And Chris, this is an incredible thing you're doing. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, you're a YouTuber, you're going crazy on YouTube, teaching people all about finances. How'd you get started?
Man, I got started with just understanding that this was something that our community primarily wasn't taught. And so understanding as a former athlete how most go broke 3 to 4 years after their playing career ended, I wanted to change that trajectory. And so that is what started me on my financial journey, just understanding how to live within my means, understanding the importance of being debt-free, saving more than you make, just little things that over time, it kind of just led me down this path that you see today.
So when we talk about financial literacy, is that just, living within your means, creating that budget, investing in the right things? What kind of things do you talk about?
Absolutely. It's everything from investing. You often say we can't save your wealth. to wealth. You can't save your way to wealth. You have to invest. And so it starts with the building blocks, making smart decisions on our journey. Everything from opening up a savings account, opening up a high yield savings account, maxing out your Roth IRA, investing in your work 401k if you have one and they offer one at your job. It's all the little things that sometimes we overlook as part of the financial journey, but that is what my wife and I did to retire in our 30s.
So now you're on this journey to give back and give other people the opportunity to maybe retire in their 30s. You're giving away $1 million total. Tell us why you're doing this.
Man, my foundation is on 100 days of giving, and we're doing a pull-up season. We're pulling up on individuals, organizations, and people doing awesome things that's primarily focused on AI and emerging technologies to change the trajectory of low-income Americans. And so for us, it has been one of the things that we wanted to do in terms of sewing back into people.
Yeah.
We know that funding can be difficult. We know that sometimes the organizations doing the work are overlooked and underfunded. And so we said, you know what, this year we wanted to make a point with our philanthropic efforts to be more present, more visible, and actually pull up to these entities and sow directly into them to let them know that we support them, that we see them, and that they have our best interests at heart.
And you're pulling up to quite a few places while you're here in town. Tell us about the strategy behind picking these specific places.
My team, along with my wife, they have done a phenomenal job of just vetting and identifying organizations, businesses, 501c3s, as well as individuals that's doing awesome things in the Detroit area. And so for us, it was a chance to, once we were able to solidify times and coordinate schedules, we were able to kind of just say, pick a time, pick some dates that we can come through Detroit and actually pull up on these entities and sow a little bit into their lives.
And have you already pulled up on them? Have you already gave them their big prize?
Yeah, so far we were able to connect with a handful and again, sow into the mission of their work. We gave one entity $20,000, another $10,000, and we have a few more to connect with prior to leaving here today. And so we're just making the rounds and trying to catch as many people that was on our list while we're in town.
So once you give them the money, because $20,000, $10,000, that's a lot, especially when you're doing community-based work. Are you giving them some guidance too? Are you teaching them some financial literacy?
That's the whole goal. You're spot on. The whole thing is to sow a monetary gift into the mission of their work, but then ultimately be a pillar, be a resource, even a mentor of sorts to kind of take them down the things and the steps that they can do on the financial trajectory with those that they serve, understanding how important it is, especially with where the world is going.
I'm loving this so much. Chris, where can our viewers support your mission, the foundation, maybe even follow you on YouTube and learn some things from you?
Absolutely. Online, everything is my name, Chris Sane. Okay, all of my handles are Chris Sane. But for the giving, you can go to chrissane.com/giving, and there individuals that we didn't pull up on or that may want to connect, that is where you go.
Perfect. Chris, thank you so much. And thank you for doing all of this in the community. I can't imagine the impact that this is going to have.
This has been a beautiful time. I thank Detroit for welcoming me and my team. And it's just been a beautiful ride so far.
I do want to ask real quick before you leave, when you're making content and you're coming up with the ideas for the content for your YouTube, how do you go about that?
Man, the stock market is something that gives you content every day. The markets are up, down, companies are reporting earnings, companies are hiring CEOs, firing CEOs, and all of that. The market is moved on sentiment and news. And so you have endless content. What we try to do is make it cool, digestible, and understandable in a way that we can understand how to navigate the market to benefit ourselves.
And what was the moment where you realized, okay, people want to know more about the stock market and finances and whatnot. I want to educate people on this. What was that moment?
Man, when I started going viral, I said, what? People really care about this? People want to know this? Sometimes we often think it's the drama that they're into. But when I was able to grow my platform from 0 subscribers to nearly 1 million at this point, when I was able to make millions of dollars online as a content creator, it showed me something greater was at play. Like, people are yearning for this information, and when they have a trusted voice, somebody that looks like them, represents where they come from, teaching it to them in a way they can understand it, they are all for the learning.
Yeah, beautiful thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And tell us one more time, what's the YouTube?
YouTube is Chris Sane. You just look me up as Chris Sane Stocks or just Chris Sane on YouTube and all other platforms. I keep it pretty consistent across the board.
Love it. All right, Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. Well, downtown Detroit has it all. Plenty to do, lovely water views, and even a beach. Summertime is returning to Campus Martius Park, where people can experience the boardwalk while soaking up some of the sun in our own urban oasis. Fox 2's Robin Murdoch has the story.
We are standing at Campus Martius Park, and it's hard to believe that I am in the middle of Detroit right now because it feels like I am at a beach oasis. In fact, I am not the only one who thinks that this is such an amazing spot. It was voted #1 public space by USA Today. I'm going to bring in Laura Dean. She is with the Downtown Detroit Partnership, and she helps put together a lot of the events that happen here in Campus Martius Park. And, you know, today it is all about the beach, right?
Yeah, we're definitely here at the beach at Campus Martius Park, and we are so excited to have it open this summer. We expanded our footprint this year, so it's more of a oasis of beachy vibes. We have our great Cabana 313 behind us where you can get food and beverage, and you can just take your kids out, come play in the sand like the kids behind us, or you can come enjoy some live music that we have going on throughout the summer.
You guys have so many events set up for the summer. You have a number of beach parties that are going to still be happening. Every Thursday, you have shops that get set up here. There's Taco Tuesdays. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, there's no shortage of events that the Downtown Detroit Partnership plans. We do over 1,200 events throughout the downtown every year. So that's our beach parties, that's our trivia nights, our movie nights, events that happen at Beacon Park and throughout the downtown, our food truck program, our markets. We have something for everyone, whether you're coming down for a concert and just want to, you know, take in the downtown before you get there, or you're coming down for a night out with your friends.
People who want to know about all these activities, where can they get all that information?
Yeah, you can go on our website, downtowndetroit.org, or you can, we have an Instagram or a Facebook account, so you can follow us online, you know, at anywhere.
You definitely want to follow that because there is just so many cool events that are planned throughout the summer here in Campus Martius Park. So you certainly want to get down here and enjoy the beach oasis. I'm Robin Murdoch reporting for Fox 2 News.
Well, lovely beach that we have down there, but it might not be that beach-like weather to experience it.
It depends.
It depends.
It's hot, but that's where people usually go when it is hot, is the beach, right?
Oh, I thought it was raining. I thought I saw somewhere it was raining.
Not right now.
Oh.
We do have storm chances later on tonight,
Got
but
it.
today it looks good for our daytime hours. 90 degrees right now in Detroit, 90 in Pontiac, 93 in Howell right now. So it is hot. And if you are outside, especially for an extended period of time, if you're working outside, you do need to take several breaks, hydrate yourself. It's feeling sticky outside. We have dew point readings that are in the 70s, and we have a lot more triple digits out there right now. Feels like it's 100 in Jackson, 100 in Ann Arbor, 101 in Howell, 103 in Flint, 98 in Detroit, 96 in Pontiac. So it is hot. It's going to continue to remain hot through about the 5-6 o'clock hour, and we have the heat advisory until about 8 o'clock this evening. Now, those storms are well north of us at this point. We have those storms up near northern Michigan from Alpena, extending just a little north of I-96. So that quadrant that is not included in the heat advisory, that's where we're seeing those showers and thunder showers. Our heat advisory goes until 8 p.m. Here's our current rain situation right now. I don't think it's going to be an issue for us until later on tonight. So we do have a lot of dry time, several hours of dry time before we see that rain move through. The Storm Prediction Center has also updated parts of the viewing area to a slight risk. It's level 2 out of 5. You can see up near Alpena, extending down to southwest Michigan, marginal risk for a good portion of southeast Michigan tonight. So here's our Fox Futurecast model. Most of the storm activity between 8 and midnight, and then after midnight, just some shower chances that could potentially have some heavy rain. So there could be some minor flooding and spots just after midnight tonight, and then then early tomorrow, additional showers for the morning drive. Those will be spotty too. And then isolated shower chances, I think, take us through the day on Friday. 93 today for our forecasted high. Lows tonight will bottom out lower 70s. Over the next 3 days, anticipate numbers staying warm, but definitely not as hot as today. 86 tomorrow, 87 on Saturday, and our precip chances with that too. They'll be around, but it's not an all-day rain, kind of like today. They'll be scattered to spotty in nature at best, so you do have a lot of dry time to get out and about. And the good news here, looking down the line, next 8 to 14 days, we could see below average temperatures opening up the month of August, which is really nice. And a nice little reprieve from the 90s that we're seeing today, and then upper 80s to lower 90s over the next couple of days. So over the weekend, it's going to be warm, if not a little toasty, especially Saturday, Sunday, upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Humidity levels will be high too, so probably not the most comfortable days. And then we see those shower chances Saturday and Sunday, but again, nothing to cancel plans over, maybe just something to have a radar for. And then 90 Tuesday, then we're in the mid 80s by Wednesday of next week.
Not too shabby.
Not at all.
Thank you, Steph. Well, SpongeBob fans, have you ever wanted to take a tour of Bikini Bottom? Well, now you can actually do that. We'll tell you all about it after the break. We're like welcome back. Well, a little bit of breaking news in the entertainment world. If you were watching with us earlier in the show, you know that TMZ is reporting that Hulk Hogan has died at the age of 71. Now, TMZ reports paramedics rushed his Florida home early this morning. He was apparently in cardiac arrest. Hogan has been dealing with health issues in recent years, including a neck procedure in May. Hulk Hogan was credited for turning pro wrestling into a multi-billion-dollar worldwide entertainment industry starting in the 80s. He appeared in many TV shows and movies, including Rocky III. Wow, and we don't have any more details than that at the moment right now. Stay with us for the very latest. Manu at One, rapper Glorilla faces drug charges after deputies say they found marijuana while investigating reports of a robbery at her home in Forsyth County. Now, the rapper's attorneys called the arrest a, quote, disturbing window into how warped law enforcement priorities have become. The rapper had previously been arrested for a DUI after a traffic stop in Gwinnett County last April. She turned herself in on Tuesday and was released on a $22,000 bond. Well, NFL star quarterback Jalen Hurts won the first Super Bowl title of his career this past February, but the pro has been spotted numerous times without his custom diamond-studded championship ring. Now, when asked why, this is what he said.
Yeah, I've moved on. Moved on to the new year. You know, it's as simple as that.
Now, wearing the ring isn't a requirement, but you would think he would enjoy wearing it after all the hard work he's put in. And I just want to know, is there a such thing as being too humble? Do you feel like this is a humility thing? Or do you think that this is him being...
Personally, I think that's a giant ring to wear every day.
It is a giant
I pull it
ring.
out on special occasions.
But he doesn't wear it at all.
Just moved on, I guess.
Just moved on.
Whatever that means.
He's on to the next thing, I guess. All right. Well, trending today, we got a question for you, Tom.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
A pineapple under the sea.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Absorbent and yellow and porous is he. If nautical nonsense
Now,
be something you
SpongeBob
wish.
fans, you can now visit a real-life version of Bikini Bottom. This is it right here on your screen in this exhibit happening in Amsterdam. It features colorful themed rooms inspired by the cartoon, along with recreations of some of your favorite locations. You also have the chance to take fun photos, catch jellyfish. How do you catch a jellyfish?
You don't want to
And you're not under the sea.
Get stung.
But how do you catch one and you're not under the sea? I wonder if you actually get to taste a Krabby Patty, because that would be pretty cool. I've always wanted to taste a Krabby Patty, and not those little gummy ones, the real deal. All right, that's going to do it for me today. There's still so much to come right here on Fox 2 Detroit Live. Ronya Shimona's up next.
Thanks for joining us on this Thursday, July 24th. I'm your host, Ronya Shimona, and you're watching Fox 2 Detroit live at 2.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
New bills moving through Lansing would allow mouth swabs to test for drugs with results in just minutes. The proposal law changing how support behind this is happening, but others are expressing concerns when it comes to it all. Fox 2's Camille Amiri explains what's at stake.
We all have family on the road, wives, brothers, sisters, mom and dad, kids.
And we want them to be safe. Keeping impaired drivers, whether it be a result of alcohol or drugs, off the road is crucial.
Honest to God, this last Saturday, I almost got hit by somebody that I thought was under the influence. And it was, I'm not going to tell you it was the scariest day of my life, but it was definitely a scary experience.
Now, some state lawmakers want police to be able to swab the mouth to test for drugs. Former Detroit Assistant Police Chief Steve Dolant.
I think it's an invasion of privacy from a citizen's perspective and from law enforcement. It helped me solve crimes.
And likely serve as a deterrent if impaired drivers know they can be tested for drugs during a traffic stop. Proponents of the testing say it's safe, reliable, and non-invasive, but those against the idea say the tests aren't accurate.
It has a significant failure rate that we are extremely concerned with. Almost 11% of all tests on the roadside produced either a false positive or a false negative. When you break it down to just the positives, so all the tests roadside that tested positive, 1 in 4 of those, almost 1 in 4 of those were incorrect.
Perhaps Billy Bazzi said it best.
Probably get it to a 99.9% accuracy, or at least somewhere in the ballpark, before sticking the stick.
And as the law stands right now, if you're pulled over for drinking and driving, you can refuse that breathalyzer. Then, of course, they will take you to a hospital and they'll have your blood drawn and use those blood alcohol content as far as the testing goes. Now, would that be the case in this situation? Of course, that remains to be seen. Still a lot of unanswered questions on this one, but we'll continue to stay on top of it. In Oak Park, Camille Amiri, Fox 2 News.
A road commission worker for Oakland County is killed on the job after being struck by an out-of-control driver. 2 other workers were also seriously hurt in this incident. The crew was working on Orchard Lake Road just south of 11 Mile when police say a driver heading southbound crossed the median and slammed into all of them. Cedric Jones, a husband and father of 6, was killed. Police are still trying to determine what caused the driver to cross the median. That person was injured and was taken to the hospital for treatment. The Road Commission says it will have counselors on hand today for anyone who needs support. A relief for people in western Wayne County this afternoon. There's been a change of plans for radioactive waste from the Manhattan Project. Wayne County Executive Warren Evans says the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has decided to send the toxic waste to Andrews, Texas, instead of Van Buren Township. Evans says he's extremely relieved by the move and praised the community for standing together to keep the dangerous material out of Wayne County.
Why don't they take that stuff to the desert?
I know. A major win for tenants living in rundown properties across Detroit. A Wayne County judge has ordered Real Token, a blockchain-based real estate company, to stop collecting rent until its homes meet city code. The temporary restraining order lets tenants put their rent into escrow to be used for repairs instead. Now, it's a big step in the city's largest ever nuisance abatement case involving more than 400 homes accused of code violations.
What is critical is that the tenants be aware that the city of Detroit is on their side, that the rent that they would pay for August should go into an escrow account, that they will receive tacked onto their door a notice that explains to them how to access the support necessary to set up the escrow account so that they are protecting themselves from any eviction proceedings based on the non-payment of rent.
According to officials, the lawsuit is the result of over 5 months of investigation, community complaints, and other kind of coordination. We continue to follow that breaking news right now. Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died. TMZ is learning new details about his death. Joining me now live is Michael Babcock out of Los Angeles. Michael, good to have you on the show today.
Hey, Ronya, good to see you. Thanks for having me.
This is just very shocking to a lot of us. I know there were medical rumors going on about Hulk Hogan the last few months. Tell me more about what happened today and what TMZ knows so far.
Yeah, and you're right, Ronya. There are a lot of questions about what has been going on and what really exactly has been the status of Hulk's health. But what we do know is that this morning, 9:51 local time, Eastern time in Florida, Clearwater, where Hulk Hogan lived, there was a call made for a cardiac arrest for a man who was in cardiac arrest. Obviously, the first responders rushed to the scene. And they did everything they could to save Hulk's life. As a matter of fact, there is some video that's floating around where you see Hulk you see somebody on a stretcher, and they are furiously working on him. They're doing chest compressions. They are trying to save him. Hulk was transported to a local hospital. And then a couple minutes after 11 o'clock this morning, again, about an hour and a half or so after that initial 911 call, Hulk Hogan was pronounced dead at 71 years old. And, he obviously, he was a wrestler, and that's how most people will remember him. But he's so transcended, wrestling, Ronya. He was one of those guys you just say Hulk, and no last name needed. And he was as big a star as you could find out there. And whether it was the wrestling or it was the movies, he was such a force, and now he's gone. And I think it's just a shock to a lot of people, because it's not that he had retreated. He had new things that were going on. He was looking forward to launching this new wrestling league that was actually supposed to air on Fox next month. And he had a lot that he was excited about, and it's a gut punch for so many people.
It's such a shock factor for a lot of us who grew up watching WrestleMania, all the Hulk maniacs out there. Have you heard from any wrestlers so far? Anyone, even from his family or extended family?
Yeah, I mean, it's really sad too, Ronya, because he was estranged from his daughter, and they had not spoken in something like 2 years. And she gets a call, Brooke Hogan does this morning, and learns that her father has died, and they never got that closure. So yeah, you feel awful for the family. I mean, everybody, and it's not even just the wrestlers, but it is all the wrestlers as well. I mean, I spoke with Ric Flair this morning, and he was devastated. He told me that he spoke with Hulk yesterday, and that Hulk was in good spirits. He said he was feeling good, and Rick just floored by this news that his good buddy, who was a wrestler or a rival, in the ring, but these guys were so tight. And I mean, there was the famous moment with Andre the Giant. And everyone from, J.D. Vance, the vice president, to some of the biggest actors in the world who have weighed in. And I think you're gonna hear from a lot of really famous people over the next couple of hours, Ronya. And it's just going to go to show how, how much of a force this guy was.
Even just going on social media, the tributes have already been pouring in. And, it is a shock factor for us to hear him as Terry. Everyone, his family knew him as Terry. And then watching Hulk Knows Best, and, the ex-wife and the children, and, obviously feel real family man. And hopefully, this is just such shocking news. Is there anything that we're finding out from his home, if we knew anybody that was there at the time, if there was a 911 call or anything that came in?
Yeah, so we do know somebody did make the call. It's unclear exactly who, and we're still working through some of those details right now. What exactly happened? Had Hulk woken up this morning? Had he not woken up? Again, because the call came in at almost 10 a.m. So you might say, okay, he was probably already awake and going on about his day. So I expect these are things that we're going to find out over the next couple of hours, but that there are more questions right now than there are answers outside of that really basic timeline.
Yeah, and of course, TMZ breaking the story. I saw it first with you guys, and I know you've been on top of it. We'll continue to follow this. And of course, thank you, Michael, for providing us with all those updates today.
Anytime. Thanks so much for having me, Ronnie. I'll see you soon.
Take care. All right. The heat is on in Detroit. Stephanie Mead is up next with our very hot forecast here in Detroit. Stick around. We're just getting started. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live at 2. A live look at Mackinac Island. It looks actually really nice out there. Maybe a little less heat out there. I don't know. We're going to find out in a sec. Stephanie Mead joins us live now. Stephanie, it kind of looks a little on the hazy side up there, or maybe it's just the camera.
Well, they have experienced a little rain north, so they're experiencing a different day than what we're experiencing here. They did see a few showers earlier. They're still seeing a little bit of shower activity there. We could use some of that rain to cool us off for sure. We've been in the 90s. We do see rain and a few thunderstorms down the line, and I think that's going to happen within the next 6 hours. So closer to, say, 8 o'clock is when we see that rain chance and thunderstorm chance. For right now, it's just the heat and the sunshine. Temps are in the low 90s. Right now, we last checked in, we were at 90 degrees. We're at 93 now. So it is hot. 94 in Flint, 90 Port Huron, even along the lake, it is toasty. And when you factor in our high humidity levels with most spots in the low to middle 70s, we finally have hit 101 degrees in terms of feel-like temperatures here in the city. Feels like 101 in the city of Detroit, 101 in Ann Arbor, 101 in Howell, and then 102 in Mount Clemens. And we're going to stay there through about the 5-6 o'clock hours. This is going to be the case over the next few hours for us here. Heat advisory in play for us across southeast Michigan. We have a few showers and thunderstorms that we're tracking across mid-Michigan as well. So that's where we're finding those cooler temperatures, but that's also where we don't find the heat advisory. So a little bit more loud with more commotion and shower chances from about central parts of the state and points north. Slight risk from Alpena extending all the way down into southwest Michigan. Marginal risk level 1 out of 5 for us here in southeast Michigan. So we could see a few isolated showers and storms pop that could be severe. And that's going to continue from 8 to about midnight tonight. So this is going to be an evening event for us here. Shower and storm chances will continue through the overnight, but nothing necessarily severe with that batch, but maybe some heavy rain, and then spotty shower and thunder shower chances take us through the day tomorrow. Isolated, I think, at best. I think we see a lot of dry time tomorrow. 93 today for our forecasted high, 71 scattered showers and storm chances later on tonight and overnight. And we are going to run a little bit cooler tomorrow, mid-80s with a spotty storm, and then late storm chances during the day on Saturday. Daytime highs will be in the upper 80s. Now, we do carry over that chance of rain. It'll be daily for us here, but again, nothing to cancel plans over. They'll be popping here and there through the afternoon Saturday, early Sunday, and then periodically through the work week next week. We do stay below average, though, so we just see a bit of relief as we look towards the month of August for the first couple of days. And you'll note that here in the extended forecast, we should drop to the low to middle 80s by Wednesday. There could be a few more 70s sprinkled in there from time to time, too. Otherwise, over the next 6 days, it's going to be toasty, it's going to be humid, which means it's going to feel a little bit worse than it actually is, and then we see that daily rain chance through about Monday.
A lot of showers, huh? I mean, that whole 7-day forecast was showers.
I know, and we put that on there because there's that chance, but it's not going to rain all day.
Okay.
So you could still make your plans outdoors, especially Saturday into Sunday, because there is that late chance and then early chance on Sunday, but most of the day is going to stay dry, and then isolated to spotty at best on Monday. So they're not all day rains, but they are notable rains where folks just need to know.
So don't turn off the sprinklers or turn them off.
No, keep them on. keep them on
for now.
Keep them on because these storm chances are going to be hit and miss. So if you see one, I might not see one. Tom could see several. Sandra could see several, and we could see none. So it's just really dependent on where they set up.
Okay. By the way, Steph, I absolutely love your shirt today.
Thank you.
You look so cozy and
It's a little messy right now because I spilled coffee on it this morning.
And who doesn't love Holland, Michigan?
Yeah.
And they have that beautiful flower garden.
The tulips.
The tulip festival.
Yeah, we went there for my grandma's birthday in the beginning of June. She turned 80, and we were like, let's go to Michigan because we always go to Wisconsin. We go to Door County a lot. But my mom was like, let's shake it up. They live in Chicago. I live in Detroit. That was like the halfway meeting point.
Yeah.
And everyone ended up loving it. So
I need to go soon.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully
great.
it's not too hot out there yet.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Steph.
Yeah.
All right, we have an inspiring story you don't want to miss. A young girl from Indiana who wanted to make sure no one ever felt left out has introduced something called a buddy bench to her school, and now it has taken off globally. She's going to join us live next. I can't wait to hear about this.
Sammy's Buddy Bench project was put out there in the world. Buddy benches have gone from just being at schools to being at different parks, retirement centers. We have one at a hospital right now. I just think it's very important for the Buddy Bench and the principle of the Buddy Bench to reach all over. Adults can use Buddy benches too. I feel that in my heart very, very deeply, that everyone has been lonely in their life, and it's very important to know that you're not alone.
She's a young girl on a heartfelt mission to make sure no one feels left out. Sammy Vance introduced the idea of a buddy bench to her community, and what started as one small act of kindness is now inspiring connection and friendship all across the globe. Sammy's joining us live now from Fort Wayne to share how this all started. Sammy, it's so good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Of course, it's my pleasure. I have to get to the very beginning and what inspired this all, how Buddy Bench started. Just walk us through that.
Yeah, so when I was in 3rd grade, I was 8 years old. I was at a summer camp and I heard about what a buddy bench was. I saw a video of 3 boys who were putting a wood buddy bench into their school playground. And the idea of that resonated very deeply with me. I'd been lonely myself, and it's not a good feeling, so I didn't want others to feel that way as well. I went to my mom about this idea, and she did her research, finding a company that took recycled materials and turns them into benches. And I thought that it would be great to combine those ideas. So I like to call it a 3-in-1. It would be helping the environment while collecting the caps. It would be helping bring the community closer together, and it would also be helping to create friendships. So I went to my principal about this idea, and it just, getting the word out to the community, it kind of took off from there.
I just absolutely love this. And I want to get to some video we're seeing of the recycled bottle caps. Where did the idea come from to grab that and think of a buddy bench?
Yeah, so like I said, the recycled material came from my mom doing her research about benches a little bit, because wood benches, metal benches, any of those, they can be so expensive if you're trying to get a new bench. So she did her research and she found a company that took recycled caps and turned them into benches. And the reason that this company, they started that was because caps used to not be able to be recycled. So they were inventive and they created their company. And so we partnered up with them, and it took 400 pounds of caps to get one buddy bench. So that's a lot of caps.
Right.
And yeah,
right.
That's how that idea came out to be.
So talk to me about this. The buddy bench is now all over the world. Obviously, it started in Fort Wayne. Now we're seeing it in even countries like Ghana.
Yeah, I did not expect the buddy bench project to blow up at all. I wanted to get one buddy bench for my school when I was 8 years old, and now, like you said, it's worldwide. We have buddy benches literally like across the world. We have buddy benches in Ghana, and I know kids in Mexico, they were collecting to get the buddy bench. I've connected with people all over the world. I've connected with people in China and Germany, but yeah.
How does it make you feel now, seeing all this, what you created, your thought and the creation behind this, and how it's impacted and changed people's lives?
Yeah, I never did the buddy bench at all. I never have, and I never will be doing the buddy benches for the awards, the accolades, the news coverage. I do the buddy bench to spread kindness. And when I see the story of a buddy bench, it doesn't even have to have my name attached to it. When I see the buddy benches, being spread through these, through the different news and the different videos that are created, the different interviews I've done, it's just getting the message of the buddy bench out there, that everyone deserves a friend and everyone can make a difference in the world. And I think that's what's important, and that's what's really cool and inspiring to see.
What I love is it obviously got a lot of attention. I know you don't like to mention the attention, but Kelly Clarkson had you on the show. You've been on obviously other newscasts. You actually just recently won the NEI Pioneer Award, that's where I met you. And I was like, wow, what a story, what a journey. Your contributions have been amazing. So I get you don't want to be recognized, but my goodness, you have done a lot. So I'm incredibly proud. I do want to ask you for, the vast region of Indiana, are you seeing buddy benches popping up around there? And are they expanding now to other states a lot quicker? How does this work?
Yeah, so we've, Sammy's Buddy Bench Project, we've gotten many different partnerships. We've partnered with, Walgreens, UPS, all these things. A while ago, through our Walgreens partnership, we got 75 buddy benches to go to a bunch of different schools around Fort Wayne and Indiana. And so we have, I'll go to parks and stuff and I'll say, oh, hey, there's a buddy bench there. I forgot that one is there. Like most elementary schools here now have buddy benches, and also in different states, they've spread all over throughout the states and throughout the world. But I'd say it's hard to keep track of where each buddy bench is, but most states now have a buddy bench. Yeah.
Well, here in Michigan, obviously we're gearing up for a back to school season. So if any school districts, private schools, public schools, or wherever, even, you mentioned even adults can be part of this Buddy Bench project. Where can they find the information to get this in schools or even become a part of the mission?
Yeah, so I have a website, sammysbuddybenchproject.com, and you can find so much information there. We have a really cool program. We've teamed up with a company called Pollywood, where it's really simple and really easy to now get a buddy bench for your school, where you're able to collect plastic materials and recycle them locally and then get a buddy bench at a discounted price. So definitely look into that and visit sammysbuddybenchproject.com.
Sammy, congratulations on all your accomplishments and just being able to change the world one act at a time. I mean, just the spread of kindness all over the globe. It's certainly a mission that we have to recognize all over the world, and we appreciate you joining us today.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on here.
Of course. And if you'd like to learn more about this mission and to spread kindness yourself, head to sammysbuddybenchproject.com. We'll have all that information on our website as well. That's all the time we have for Fox 2 Detroit Live at 2. Jay Towers is up next. Don't go anywhere.
Thursday. On Thursdays, we do Crazy Lines. We go around the room and tell you something about ourselves that make us a little crazy or not right in the head. You're always welcome to join in. We love hearing from you anytime. I'll start today, and my Crazy Lines loops in Chelsea Kibble.
Nice.
How about that?
Whoa.
Yeah. Here's my Crazy Lines today. am I crazy? Chelsea has a major issue. You miss it every day.
I know what you were going to say.
She has a major issue every day.
Just one?
Of her issues every day, she has an issue that around 9:30, 9:45, no matter my plan for the day, I go out to my car, I get my Kroger plastic bag, I bring it back in, I go to the bathroom, and I change my clothes. I get out of a suit because I don't like wearing suits. I hate suits. I've hated them since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute I don't have to wear a suit and can put jeans on and my black T-shirt,
I get it.
I'm a happy Jay.
I get it.
Even if I'm just going home, I still change because I sit in here, I get some stuff done.
I get it. That's the bra thing. The bra comes off the second I walk in the door. I'm pulling it off as I'm walking to my room.
All right, well, I'm going to explain myself now. Allison, you don't think it's crazy in any way that he was literally going out to his car, coming back to change, walking right back out to his car, and immediately driving right home. That's weird.
You changing out of your suit, I'm 100% on board.
Of course I'm on board with that.
The fact that you don't have a little duffel bag.
I do.
I can give you a tote
I
bag.
have a duffel bag.
And you're using a Kroger shopping bag.
The
And
Kroger,
also,
the Kroger bag has the fresh clothes in it. The duffel bag has like toiletries and things I might need
I'd reverse
to
that,
freshen
but
up.
that's okay. But I don't understand why you're not bringing it in with you every morning when you come in.
I don't understand why
here.
anyone here cares.
I don't understand why you can't just do it at home when you're literally just on your way home.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Because he's got to drive home in a suit.
Who cares?
Well, as somebody that swirls around in
get it.
spite, now for spite, I
Yeah.
might change at 9:05 every day.
I support you.
Oh, thank you.
That would at least make
That's
a little
what I
more
wanted
sense.
to hear.
I support you.
She supports me.
But she's not going to go against
Yeah, she
you.
don't care. No, she can go against me.
yeah.
You all can go against me. I never want to hear that. You go against me. At risk.
You should go
at
change
your own risk.
At your own risk. You should go change your clothes right now.
We ran out of Lou's music.
Boy.
Okay, Allison, you're up.
Okay, this is, I think, a little bit crazy. Warren did too, but you know, I make him sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's about all I do. But I make
Your
him,
lunch series really needs to come back.
my lunch series is probably going to make a return. So there are certain lunch meats. If it's ham or turkey, and I try to mix it up. Like if he's going to get turkey for most of the week, I try to mix up the condiments and the cheese and the bread. So it's a little different and it's not the same. There are a couple meats that I use. Like this week is pastrami week.
Okay.
There's been bologna week, which is gross. I don't know why he likes bologna, but he does. There are certain kinds of meats, bologna and pastrami specifically, where I only can use one cheese. Bologna goes with American, pastrami goes with Swiss, and I do not know. And he goes, no, you could do pastrami and cheddar. You could do pastrami and Munster.
No, you can't.
That's what I said. I
No,
said,
you can't.
I can't do that. And they're all going to have Swiss and mustard, and
Yeah.
that's all I can do.
No, you're in the right.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think.
The pastrami and Swiss doesn't sound right.
No, pastrami and Swiss is.
No. Pastrami and cheddar.
Munster and pastrami and cheddar.
Yeah.
Right.
Pastrami
it's
and right.
I think a white cheese going with pastrami is fine. So it could be Munster or provolone or something like that.
I
But
don't know.
cheddar just doesn't
Cheddar
feel
doesn't
right
sound
to
right.
me.
No, but Munster didn't sound right. I've got Munster, and all his sandwiches are Swiss.
You
and
know what?
I can't do it.
You do what it tastes good every time.
Yeah,
he should. Yeah.
If it's redundant, if it's by the fifth day, you're like,
Then he can get his own can of SpaghettiOs and
With no opener.
right.
Chelsea, you're up.
Okay, so yesterday I opened up my basement door. Shelby's dog food is like right at the stairs of the basement door.
In a sealed container?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes. And I noticed that one of my basement lights was on, but I would have to go all the way down to the basement into that specific room and turn the light off. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. It's going to bother me that it's on because at some point, I'm going to have to change the light because it was wasteful
Right.
and whatever. But I don't feel like going down there right now.
And you left it on.
I left it on.
Plus, that's where the monsters are.
Yeah,
Wait, out of
right.
fear or laziness?
A laziness.
laziness.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like walking downstairs.
Why'd you leave it on in the first place?
I didn't leave it on. My brother-in-law left it on.
Oh, make him come over and turn it
Yeah,
off.
I will.
That would be funny. Now that is spite. There's Crazy Lines on 100.3 W. So what happened on this day for back in the day today? 43 years ago in 1982, Survivor's Eye of the Tiger, the theme song from Rocky III, hit #1 on the U.S. pop charts. How could it not?
I still don't mind. We make fun of some other songs, like Who Wants to Hear That? And then I think to myself, maybe someone does, because I don't mind hearing that song.
No.
You know, when that song comes on, it's not bad. I'll listen to it.
Pumps you up.
Yeah.
I love watching videos of just the Rocky theme, but the people take that music and then they make montages of all the Rocky movies of him running.
Oh.
But him running through Philadelphia in that first movie, or is it set? I mean, where he's waving at everybody and he's going through the meat market and all that stuff. But it's that's a great scene because they filmed it. I don't know if they filmed it in one take, but you can see clearly the people are not like extras.
Right.
Like
They're just people on the street.
He's just in a neighborhood. Yeah. It's funny to see, like, you know, that say, I got to be a part of that. 27 years ago in 1998, Saving Private Ryan was released. It went on to win 5 Academy Awards.
Why not any of these guys? They all fought just as hard as me.
Is that what they're supposed to tell your mother? When they send her another folded American flag?
Tell her that when you found me, I was here, and I was with the only brothers that I have left. And there's no way I was going to desert them.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, my God.
Never seen Saving Private Ryan.
I'm really surprised that you, I mean, I've never seen it either, but I figured that you would have.
I remember Warren making us go, and I wasn't excited about it. But after I saw it, I was like...
You loved it?
Yeah. I have a bubble about it. The opening, which you wouldn't know about, but the opening scene in Saving Private Ryan where American troops stormed the beach at Normandy cost just that scene. It's the very beginning of the movie. Cost $12 million.
Wow.
And 1/5 of the movie's on budget.
Oh my gosh.
Just that opening scene. That's how the movie starts off. $12 million.
Isn't that crazy? Like, when you think about how much money goes into movies.
Yeah.
$12 million. I mean, you could live off that for your life.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's unbelievable. All right. What else do we have? 20 years ago in 2005, Lance Armstrong won his 7th straight Tour de France before retiring from the sport. All of his titles were stripped because he was doping the entire time.
Yeah, doesn't he say they all were?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he says.
Kind
But
of like who got caught.
Yeah.
And in 2020, Taylor Swift releases her 8th album, Folklore. Instead of leading into it with a big campaign, it was announced just a day earlier. So she said, we're releasing a new album tomorrow. And that's what happened. There you go. WNIC, Dearborn, Detroit. It's time for Hollywood Minute. Chelsea has that brought to you this time around by our friends at Bell Tire.
Well, speaking of Taylor Swift, she gave Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco homemade sourdough for Selena's birthday. She also included bottles of olive oil and balsamic vinegar paired with the fresh loaf. She loves baking.
Who loves baking?
Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
She makes like these like homemade Pop-Tarts. She's making pies.
She does?
Bread.
She actually does it?
She does, yeah.
Does Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco want some homemade pickles?
I bet they would love them.
Warren just made some over the weekend.
By the way, that was a delicious little cornbread.
Did you try it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. But I ate it like at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
so.
good. Okay.
It was good. I need to bring back your Tupperware.
Oh, whatever.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's signed a multi-year deal with Netflix. We knew about this back in 2020. It was about $100 million. That agreement is about to expire. And as of right now, doesn't look like Netflix is going to be renewing a deal with them. But Meghan's second season of With Love, Meghan, it will be premiering this fall. There are more TV projects on the way. The CEO of Netflix loves them, but like they're not doing $100 million deal.
Does the CEO of Netflix love them?
I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. King Charles told a cancer survivor he's feeling a lot better now and described his cancer as just one of those things. He was just diagnosed back in February of last year following surgery for an enlarged prostate. The exact type of cancer has not been revealed, but he says he's doing well.
Okay.
So there is a billboard of Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah.
It is their 1973 album.
Buckingham Nicks.
Yes, and it went up on Sunset Boulevard. We now know what it's all about. They are re-releasing that album that was cut just before they joined Fleetwood Mac to celebrate its 50th anniversary on September 19th.
She is such a great storyteller. When she gets on stage, she tells stories about like her and him being like a pickup truck and kind of like just living in a one bedroom and trying to get their music. And that album is really good.
Yeah, I know. Warren has it on 8-track.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And he plays it often. And by the way, you got him kicked out of the band, so I don't know that you get to tell stories about him all the time. And I'm really sorry that just happened.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
They have a
tumultuous.
They have that kind of relationship. Tumultuous.
And let me add, he's probably responsible.
Still not right.
What is it?
Tumultuous.
They have a tumultuous.
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 Just one L in the front part. Tumultuous.
It's volatile.
Very rocky relationship.
Very rocky. Like the ice cream Chelsea eats.
And finally, Netflix has officially renewed Wednesday for season 3. This is coming before season 2 even drops. TV tonight, we have Celebrity Family Feud.
I was thinking about this with kids going back to school here in the fall. Do you remember, like, when you were a kid, were you ever either in a position where you were sick enough that you needed a doctor's note for the school? I mean, I feel like I don't ever remember a doctor writing a note saying, Jason can't do this to the school.
No.
But parents have sick kids that have to do this. We know at Chase Junior's that it comes up all the time.
Yeah. No, not personally.
No. And you, Chels?
I don't think so.
So a school district in Tennessee announced that doctor's notes would no longer excuse a child's absence. This is the Lawrence County school system said their stricter policy is to improve the district's attendance rate. Kids will just be marked present or absent. And there are punishments for absence, sick or not. And 3 no-shows, school starts an intervention. If a kid misses 8 or more days, they'll be referred to the juvenile court for truancy.
Well, that can't apply to like a serious illness that's going to sideline you for a while because they can't do that. And in that case, I'm sure. But they probably get a lot of, In
other words, something led up to this.
Yeah. I mean, they were getting doctors. I'm sure it's not hard to get a doctor. I don't feel good. Can you say that so I can bring it to school?
Right.
And
right.
It probably happens.
I don't know. I feel like you can't help it when you get sick. And I'm blown away that many people are really going to go out of their way to get a doctor's note. Like, probably not.
Can I switch it up for a second about notes?
I want to add one other thing. If a child goes to school sick and can't make it through, the school nurse sends them home. That child is then marked tardy. The director of the school said he's no nonsense. We're going to take control of attendance of our students. You can bring all the doctor's notes you want. It's still unexcused.
This is crazy.
He is no nonsense.
No nonsense.
He is not. I used to call my mom in the middle of the day and I'd be like, could you come get me? Why? I'd just like to leave.
See, that's one thing.
She would, often.
I could see them cracking down on. Or like, going to the school nurse and being like, I know that you're not sick.
Yeah,
like, you
right,
don't need to be
right.
going home. But I think most people are in agreement nowadays, especially, that, like, if you're sick, stay home. I don't want to be anywhere near you.
Note or not?
Back
What was
to,
your note?
Back to the notes, though. Your parents never smoked, right?
Well, my dad did, but
Did he?
he quit like in the early 80s.
I don't know if you remember this, but this is just so funny because this was across the board. I mean, all the parents were doing it, and everybody smoked when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
It was weird to find someone that didn't smoke.
Mm-hmm.
But your mom could send you to the store, any store, with a note so that you could buy your cigarettes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Hi, I'm 8. Here's my note from my mom. I'm going to need to buy her cigarettes. You don't remember that?
Hi. I know I'm 8. My name is Allison.
But I have this note.
I'm here for one of those diamond candy rings and a pack of smokes.
It didn't apply to the booze, but just the cigarettes. Here's a note.
Mom needs smokes. We'll see what happens.
It's a good thing they did away with that.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a simpler.
It's Thursday. On Thursdays, we do crazy lines. We go around the room and tell you something about ourselves that make us a little crazy or not right in the head. You're always welcome to join in. We love hearing from you anytime. I'll start today, and my crazy lines loops in Chelsea Kibble.
Nice.
How about that?
Whoa.
Yeah. Here's my crazy lines today. Am I crazy? Chelsea has a major issue. You miss it every day.
I know what you were going to say.
She has a major issue every day.
Just one?
Of her issues every day, she has an issue that around 9:30, 9:45, no matter my plan for the day, I go out to my car, I get my Kroger plastic bag, I bring it back in, I go to the bathroom, and I change my clothes. I get out of a suit because I don't like wearing suits. I hate suits. I've hated them since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute I don't have to wear a suit and can put jeans on and my black T-shirt,
I get it.
I'm a happy Jay.
I get it.
Even if I'm just going home, I still change because I sit in here, I get some stuff done.
I get it. That's the bra thing. The bra comes off the second I walk in the door. I'm pulling it off as I'm walking to my room.
All right, well, I'm going to explain myself now. Allison, you don't think it's crazy in any way that he was literally going out to his car, coming back to change, walking right back out to his car, and immediately driving right home. That's weird.
You changing out of your suit, I'm 100% on board.
Of course I'm on board with that.
The fact that you don't have a little duffel bag,
I do.
I can give you a tote
I
bag.
have a duffel bag.
And you're using a Kroger shopping bag.
The
And
Kroger,
also,
the Kroger bag has the fresh clothes in it. The duffel bag has like toiletries and things I might need
I reversed that,
to freshen
but
up.
that's okay. But I don't understand why you're not bringing it in with you every morning when you come in.
I don't understand why
here.
anyone here cares.
I don't understand why you can't just do it at home when you're literally just on your way home.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Because he's got to drive home in a suit.
Who cares?
Well, as somebody that swirls around in
get it.
spite, now for spite, I
Yeah.
might change at 9:05 every day.
I support you.
Oh, thank you.
That would at least make
That's
a little
what I
more
wanted
sense.
to hear.
I support you.
She supports me.
But she's not going to go against
Yeah, she
you.
don't care. No, she can go against me.
Yeah.
You all can go against me. I never want to hear that. You go against me. At risk.
You should go
at
change
your own risk.
At your own risk. You should go change your clothes right now.
We ran out of loose
Oh,
music.
boy.
Okay, Allison, you're up.
Okay, this is, I think, a little bit crazy. Warren did too, but you know, I make him sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's about all I do. But I make
Your
him,
lunch series really needs to come back.
my lunch series is probably going to make a return. So there are certain lunch meats, if it's ham or turkey, and I try to mix it up. Like if he's going to get turkey for most of the week, I try to mix up the condiments and the cheese and the bread. So it's a little different and it's not the same. There are a couple meats that I use. Like this week is pastrami week.
Okay.
There's been bologna week, which is gross. I don't know why he likes bologna, but he does. There are certain kinds of meats, bologna and pastrami specifically, where I only can use one cheese. Bologna goes with American, pastrami goes with Swiss, and I do not know. And he goes, no, you could do pastrami and cheddar. You could do pastrami and Munster.
No, you can't.
That's what I said. I
No,
said,
you can't.
I can't do that. And they're all going to have Swiss and mustard, and
Yeah.
that's all I can do.
No, you're in the right.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think.
The pastrami and Swiss doesn't sound right.
No, pastrami and Swiss is.
No. Pastrami and cheddar.
Munster and pastrami and cheddar.
Yeah.
Right.
Pastrami and right.
I think a white cheese going with pastrami is fine. So it could be Munster or provolone or something like that. But cheddar just doesn't feel right to me.
No, but Munster didn't sound right. I've got Munster, and all his sandwiches are Swiss.
You know what?
I can't do it.
You do what it tastes good every time.
Yeah, if it's redundant, if it's by the fifth day, you're like,
then he can get his own can of SpaghettiOs and
with no opener.
Right.
Chelsea, you're up.
Okay, so yesterday I opened up my basement door. Shelby's dog food is like right at the stairs of the basement door.
In a sealed container?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes. And I noticed that one of my basement lights was on, but I would have to go all the way down to the basement into that specific room and turn the light off. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. It's going to bother me that it's on because at some point, I'm going to have to change the light because it was wasteful and whatever. But I don't feel like going down there right now.
And you left it on?
I left it on.
Plus, that's where the monsters are.
Yeah,
Wait, out of fear or laziness?
A laziness.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I get that.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like walking downstairs.
Why'd you leave it on in the first place?
I didn't leave it on. My brother-in-law left it on.
Oh, make him come over and turn it off.
Yeah, I will.
That would be funny. Now that is spite. There's Crazy Lines on 100.3 W. Hey, our friend Al Longstreet is back.
I know.
Hi, guys. Hello.
What is it, a big heat wave coming here?
Oh, yeah. You ready for it? Yeah, it's going to get hot and sweaty. Heat index 100 degrees.
I'll be the
102.
I'll be the one of the three of us that doesn't mind it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's tough.
You're napping in air conditioning all day. That doesn't affect you.
That's right.
But you also drive a car that doesn't have air, so I would think that it would affect you.
Oh,
it does.
no. You're in that boat. I've been there before. I'm so sorry. That's tough. What do you do? Do your windows work?
They do, but all four of them down still don't provide any cool breeze.
Of course.
Yeah, you're actually just blowing a lot of hot air around in the car.
Yeah, that's it.
It's hard to get a good breeze.
Especially when you're singing the way that Allison is. Yeah. I've seen your karaoke videos.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a lot.
Right? Yeah, work of art. Luckily, it's just one and done. There's Thursday. That's one and done.
I've
the worst.
put this on Facebook, but speaking of Allison's karaoke, do you know what the number one, according to science, the number one karaoke song is that releases the most dopamine, makes you feel good when you hear it, makes you feel good when you see
Sweet
it? Sweet
Caroline.
No.
I have no
I got
idea.
you, babe.
No. Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer.
Oh, that's, yeah.
I could see that.
Number 2 was Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Yeah, but that's a bold choice because no one can sing like her.
Plus, by the way, I've never been to any karaoke where I've seen anyone sing that song.
No.
Bon Jovi, yes.
2 I'm surprised by. Number 2, yeah.
Number 3 was Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger.
I'm really
I
surprised.
heard you say.
That's the one. That's the Oasis
Did
song.
this come from BuzzFeed?
No, it came from a Cambridge. It was a scientific study.
Science?
Scientific
Wow.
Science, the math behind it.
Don't look back in anger. That's so dumb.
Yeah, I love watching those Oasis shows now.
Yeah.
Those
They don't
brothers.
interact with each other,
No, they're on
do
separate
they?
sides of the stage.
Oh, that's good, but they still do it?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they still do it for the kids.
They
We
do it for the
appreciate
money.
that.
They do it for the money.
Well, yeah, that too.
They do it for the kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would be like if Allison and Chelsea suddenly hated each other, but we had to do the show and like we just put Chelsea like in the weather office.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, like a remote situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'd be in your building.
I actually lived that.
I know you
Not
did.
with Chelsea.
That was funny.
That was,
Do
yeah.
you want to keep talking
Please
about it?
clarify,
Name
not with
names,
me.
what's
Yeah.
happening?
You did? What happened? How are we looking weather-wise today?
Hey, we're good. Beautiful today. Mid-80s, right? So kind of typical summer heat, humidity. That's fine. More sun. Hot and humid Thursday. Heat advisory. Storms late Thursday into the night. We still keep things pretty warm Friday through.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you're having a great afternoon so far. I'm Aaron Jordan. It's 3 o'clock. Time for your news.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
And we start with Southfield police arresting a Texas man accused of sex trafficking women across several states. They caught up with him at a Metro Detroit hotel. Fox 2's Amy Lang joining us now with more on the arrest and the investigation. Amy, just a really disturbing case.
Oh, it is absolutely disturbing. And Southfield police say, they're taking this very seriously because, there are a lot of hotels in Southfield and they've had a number of these arrests over the last just, 3 months or so. This one came along about 3 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning, and they were called to this Quality Inn because a woman, 21-year-old woman, was reporting that this guy that she knows had smashed her windshield. You see him right there. His name's Randolph Lewis. He's 33 years old. He's from Texas. And police start, asking her more questions. How do you know this guy? Oh, well, I brought the wrong food order, and so he smashed my, windshield, etc. Here they're asking her, what else is going on here? Are you free to come and go? They find out he's rented 3 rooms. So that raises a red flag for them. She says there's another woman. There have been many other women. I didn't even know I was in Michigan. She's been in Chicago and St. Louis and Louisiana. And so, they start obviously, putting things together and realize that this young lady and another woman there are victims of sex trafficking, of human trafficking. And so this guy tries to get away. They are able to get him into custody. And now he's facing really serious charges. In my story coming up at 5, you'll see what he did to himself once he was taken into police custody, attempting and actually succeeding in injuring himself. Maybe he thought he was going to blame that on the police, but they have cameras, so obviously that's not going to go very far. But it is a real issue, and not just in Southfield, right? This is a problem, in many places. These folks like to, kind of try and go under the radar, right? They're operating in big cities or the suburbs of big cities, anywhere there's lots of hotels, this is a prime example of what police are up against. But Chief Barron said, that he was really proud of his officers for digging a little deeper, recognizing, that this wasn't just a malicious destruction of property case, but it was much bigger than that. And he says, the Oakland County Human Trafficking Unit, there's a federal unit. So, this is really a global, a federal, a local problem. And he says they're going to continue to work on this and put these people behind bars because it's obviously very, very serious.
Absolutely, and we look forward to seeing your story tonight. And obviously, a lot of this comes down to if people see something, they need to say something as well, because the signs could be really obvious. They could be really subtle as well.
Absolutely. And a lot of these women are scared. They don't want to, say what's going on. So, they're really trying to work with the hotels also to recognize that, maybe something's going on. I mean, these are places of business. Somebody wants to rent a room. So it's a difficult spot for these hotels to be in as well. But yeah, they're really trying to encourage people to really pay attention and, this woman who was brave enough to speak up once police started asking her questions, she's one of like 10 people that she told officers about. So this guy is facing charges also in Louisiana, where this woman was from. But, it sounds like he was really busy throughout, this sort of corridor. And who knows how many people were victimized. And so it's a difficult spot for folks to be in, and these survivors certainly have, a lot to go through after they get out of a situation like this. But any progress they can make in putting these people behind bars, any way that the public can help in recognizing these things, they certainly want to hear from you.
And hopefully these survivors are able to get the help and support they need as well. Amy Lang, thank you so much.
Sure thing.
Well, new bills moving through Lansing would allow authorities to swab your mouth testing for drugs. They get results in just minutes. The proposed law change, it has support, but others aren't so sure. Fox 2's Camille Amiri explains.
We all have family on the road, wives, brothers, sisters, mom and dad, kids.
And we want them to be safe. Keeping impaired drivers, whether it be a result of alcohol or drugs, off the road is crucial.
Honest to God, this last Saturday, I almost got hit by somebody that I thought was under the influence. And it was, I'm not going to tell you it was the scariest day of my life, but it was definitely a scary experience.
Now, some state lawmakers want police to be able to swab the mouth to test for drugs. Former Detroit Assistant Police Chief Steve Dolant.
I think it's an invasion of privacy from a citizen's perspective and from law enforcement. It helped me solve crimes.
And likely serve as a deterrent if impaired drivers know they can be tested for drugs during a traffic stop. Proponents of the testing say it's safe, reliable, and non-invasive, but those against the idea say the tests aren't accurate.
It has a significant failure rate that we are extremely concerned with. Almost 11% of all tests on the roadside produced either a false positive or a false negative. When you break it down to just the positives, so all the tests roadside that tested positive, 1 in 4 of those, almost 1 in 4 of those were incorrect.
Perhaps Billy Bazzi said it best.
Probably get it to a 99.9% accuracy, or at least somewhere in the ballpark before sticking the stick.
And as the law stands right now, if you're pulled over for drinking and driving, you can refuse that breathalyzer. Then, of course, they will take you to a hospital and they'll have your blood drawn and use those blood alcohol content as far as the testing goes. Now, would that be the case in this situation? Of course, that remains to be seen. Still a lot of unanswered questions on this one, but we'll continue to stay on top of it. In Oak Park, Camila Mary, Fox 2 News.
3:06 right now. An Oakland County Road Commission worker killed on the job. They were hit by a driver. 2 other workers seriously hurt. The crew was working on Orchard Lake Road just south of 11 Mile when police say a driver headed southbound crossed the median and slammed into them. Cedric Jones, a husband and father of 6, was killed. Police are still trying to figure out what caused the driver to cross the median. Medics took that person to the hospital as well. The Road Commission says it will have counselors on hand today for anyone who needs to talk. A relief for people in western Wayne County this afternoon. There's been a change of plans for radioactive waste from the Manhattan Project. Wayne County Executive Warren Evans says the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has decided to send the toxic waste to Andrews, Texas, instead of Van Buren Township. Evans says he's extremely relieved by the move and praised the community for standing together to keep the dangerous material out of the county. Authorities are looking into whether a $20 million state job incentive grant was misused. And new reports allege someone close to the governor is involved. Fox 2's Tim Skubik has the latest.
We have definitely developed probable cause.
I am very troubled by what I have come to read.
Here's what the governor and attorney general are concerned about. A $20 million job creation grant was processed by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and it's been alleged that the governor's office was somehow involved in pushing this grant throughout the legislative process. Here, for the first time, the attorney general was asked this pointed question.
Do you think Governor Whitmer is involved in this possible violation?
Look, all I can say is I have no idea the extent of anybody's involvement here.
A follow-up. Has anybody close to the governor been involved?
All I will say is, we don't have any specific targets of the investigation.
Governor Whitmer did take one question on the MEDC controversy before her press secretary moved to change the subject.
I know there's a lot going on. Any questions on medical debt to start?
The governor took a second question near the end of the scrum, but when some reporter asked about the alleged involvement of anybody in her office, this is what happened.
And I'm hopeful that the Attorney General will help in that effort.
All right, that's Governor, you're saying your office had nothing to do with the earmark?
Ms. Nessa was asked one final question about anybody in the governor's office being involved, and this time it was her press secretary that ended the conversation.
Tim? Hey, Tim, I think that's all we can answer on MEDC at this point.
It's unclear how long this investigation will continue on that alleged $20 million grant that was done illegally. Meanwhile, in Traverse City, the MEDC director defended the conduct of his agency, saying the agency's oversight of the money complied with legislative requirements. It should also be noted the MEDC canceled the grant last March. In Lansing, Tim Skubik, Fox 2 News.
A major win for people living in rundown properties across Detroit. A Wayne County judge ordering Real Token, that's a blockchain-based real estate company, to stop collecting rent until its homes meet city code. The order lets tenants put their rent into escrow to be used for repairs instead. It's a big step in the city's largest ever nuisance abatement case. It involves more than 400 homes accused of code violations.
What is critical is that the tenants be aware that the city of Detroit is on their side, that the rent that they would pay for August should go into an escrow account, that they will receive tacked onto their door a notice that explains to them how to access the support necessary to set up the escrow account, so that they are protecting themselves from any eviction proceedings based on the non-payment of rent.
Officials say the lawsuit is the result of more than 5 months of investigation, community complaints, and work between several agencies. 3:11 right now as we take a look at a dreary day up north on Mackinac Island here in Metro Detroit. A summer scorcher. Will the heat continue? Meteorologist Stephanie Mead has a look next. You're watching Fox 2 Detroit live at 3. Taking a live look at Mackinac Island, not that I'm counting, but less than 5 hours until my vacation starts, heading up north to the UP. Gonna go on a whitefish tour. Welcome back, everyone, to Fox 2 Detroit live at 3. We're in the middle of a really hot day right now, so is this going to be a one-day scorcher, or is the heat sticking around? Here's meteorologist Stephanie Mead.
All right, happy Thursday. It is an exceptionally hot day today. There are a lot of locations that are already feeling like the triple digits. I think there were a few spots even before noon that felt like they were in the lower 100s. So it is hot, it is humid. We have storm chances that we're tracking as well tonight into early tomorrow morning. So let's get into that forecast for you. Right now, our temperatures are in the lower 90s, and this is across the board. We have lower 90s here from Detroit, Howell, Pontiac, Flint. So everybody here experiencing a hot day. Now, the reason why it feels so gross outside is because of our dew point readings. Humidity levels are sky high, so low to middle 70s, feeling very much tropical. So a lot of spots feel like they're in the triple digits, from Ann Arbor, Jackson, Howell, Flint, Mount Clemens feels like it's 103 degrees out right now. So it is oppressive. And we're going to stay that way well into the afternoon, if not for around at least dinner time tonight. And then those numbers start to steadily come down. Now we have a heat advisory in play right now across much of the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. That's for us until about 8 o'clock tonight. So that heat advisory goes until 8 p.m. And then you notice those showers west of us, that's all associated with a cold front. And that will eventually usher in our storm chances, but also relief, just in terms of the heat and humidity. Now, our severe weather outlook for today, it's been upgraded for parts of our state. So from Alpena extending into central Michigan and then mid-Michigan to southwestern parts of the state, you still have a slight risk. That's the new update. Marginal risk across southeast Michigan, though. So we are still under a level 1 out of 5. So an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm could pop. This is by 9 o'clock. So this is going to be an evening event for us here. So the drive home should be fine. through about 8 to midnight when we see that severe thunderstorm risk. Spotty here across southeast Michigan. It's going to continue through about 12:30 tonight, but I do think our severe weather threat after midnight diminishes, and we're just looking at potentially heavier rain by, say, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Additional spotty shower, thunder shower chances, and then we'll continue to track out that isolated to spotty shower chance on Friday. Otherwise, we do see a lot of dry time to end the week. 93 today, 71 tonight, scattered storms likely as we head through this evening. It's going to be a hot one today, slight relief tomorrow with highs in the mid-80s, and we're in the upper 80s as we start the weekend. With that too, we are seeing our rain chances remain very much spotty, so nothing to really cancel plans over, but just something to be aware of, both tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday and Tuesday of next week. So it does remain active with that daily rain chance, but it's not all day, and we do eventually see that rain chance diminish by early next week for some locations. We also have some good news too, at least in the temperature front. Over the next 8 to 14 days, we do see below average temperatures, slightly below average temperatures. So we could be seeing more upper 70s to lower 80s as we head through the middle part of next week. In the meantime, we just got to get used to the heat, at least at this point. 93 humid today, feeling like 100 degrees already for a lot of spots. 86 tomorrow, mid to upper 80s to lower 90s to end the weekend and start off early next week with storm chances continuing throughout Monday. And then we're dry, we're starting to cool off by Wednesday of next week. Hope everyone enjoys their Thursday and stays cool.
We have some sad news to share with you today. Legendary pro wrestler Hulk Hogan has died. TMZ reports medics were called to his Florida home early this morning. He was apparently in cardiac arrest. Hogan dealt with health issues over the last few years, including a neck procedure in May. Hogan was credited with turning pro wrestling into a multi-billion-dollar worldwide entertainment industry starting in the 80s. He also was in many TV shows and movies, including Rocky III. Hulk Hogan was 71. 3:18 right now. Wildlife experts concerned about the discovery of an invasive crayfish in Michigan, what it means to the ecosystem. Jack Nissen joins us after the break. You're watching Fox 2 Detroit live at 3. 3:21 right now as we welcome you back to Fox 2 Detroit Live at 3. Well, invasive species specialists, try saying that 5 times fast, are concerned after the discovery of 2 unusual crayfish at a state hatchery. Fox 2 digital journalist Jack Nissen joining us live with more. Jack, tell us about this fish and where it was first found.
I just learned this, Aaron. You can say crayfish or crawfish.
That's good to know.
Yes. It's a dialect, actually.
Okay.
And these little guys, we call them red swamp crayfish. They are native down where they say crawfish. No. Yes, crawfish. They are native where they say crawfish. Up here, though, when we say crayfish, they are not. But they've been popping up a little bit around Michigan the past few years, mostly actually in Metro Detroit. And then recently they found one in a state hatchery, which is basically where we rear a lot of our own fish and we grow them up and then dump them out into the river to hopefully, be caught one day again, but after kind of helping the population. So the DNR is a little confused because this is sort of a very tightly regulated area over on the west side where we rear a lot of these things. So the fact that this guy right here showed up is very confusing to them and even a little bit disconcerting because it may indicate that we don't really know where they're coming from.
Yeah, and you were saying, and I saw in the web story too, that they kind of popped up in Metro Detroit as well. What's the big concern with these guys?
Yeah, so naturally, like most invasive species, they can basically outcompete our native ones. They do a better job of populating, they're a bit more aggressive. But one thing that I did find interesting, and it's probably kind of relevant for us over here in Metro Detroit, they like to burrow in the banks of streams. And that little hole right there, that's where one of them was living. And if you imagine a bunch of them doing that, they destabilize the banks. They basically cause more erosion as a result along these inland lakes. And that can be kind of rough for all of your property values as well.
And that totally makes sense. And just looking at it, we heard a lot about Asian carp over the years too, Jack. And it just seems like this is really kind of a new level of that and just another one added to the list that the DNR is concerned about.
Oh, yeah. No, it's the kind of, and I feel for them because it's not like it keeps getting any easier. These things, once they establish, they don't go away. And as we sort of discovered, they've been found in Macomb County, Wayne County, Oakland County, and then now just recently over in Van Buren County on the west side of the state. So they're not exactly slowing down as they move around the state, and I would imagine trying to keep track of them is a whole lot more difficult. So what the DNR is trying to do is they're using environmental DNA, basically looking for evidence of these guys in the water. But I mean, you're kind of fishing for hay in a haystack here because these guys, they look similar to the native versions of themselves, but it's not like we can be constantly monitoring the water because we got so much of it in the state. And these guys obviously know how to hide.
And so you just answered my next question, Jack. But what does the DNR say that we as citizens need to do?
Use their invasive species app. Michigan is part of a consortium of other Midwestern states that, probably all kind of are looking for the same kinds of species. If they're not native in Michigan, they're likely not native in Ohio or Minnesota or Wisconsin. So the Midwest Invasive Species app is a good place to start. If you do see anything that looks like this, definitely take a picture of it and definitely send it to the DNR. There's definitely more information on our site, though, if you're actually looking for links for where to do all that.
Jack Nissen, Fox 2 digital journalist, really our nature expert around here. I've learned so much whenever I do an interview with you, and thank you for helping break down this topic.
Thanks for asking.
Well, it's been nearly 50 years since he disappeared. This afternoon, we're taking a look back not only on Jimmy Hoffa's disappearance, but his rise to power and ties to organized crime. 3:25 right now, you're watching Fox 2 Detroit Live. Thanks for staying with us on Fox 2 Detroit live at 3 as we take a look at dreary Mackinac Island right now. See some of those horse-drawn carriages. Said earlier in the show that I'm heading up north. Hopefully I'm able to get some fudge from Mackinac Island. That's sounding really good right now. 3:28 right now. Turning now to the reignited Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Today, the U.S. Deputy Attorney General expected to meet with Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, in prison. Fox's Rebecca Castro has more on what prosecutors hope to uncover.
Recent photos show Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, going for a run inside the grounds of a federal prison in Tallahassee. She's been behind bars since 2020 when she was first arrested and later convicted of helping Epstein abuse teenage girls.
She is the Rosetta Stone. She knows everything. She arranged every single trip with everybody.
That's why prosecutors at the Justice Department want to sit down with her as they dig deeper into Epstein's crimes and try to uncover who else may be involved.
The president spoke to this yesterday and he said he thinks it's an appropriate idea.
President Trump encouraged the DOJ to reopen their investigation after facing intense public demand for answers on Epstein's potential clients. Earlier this month, the agency claimed there wasn't anything else to find, but Fox News can confirm the Attorney General told Trump his name was in the files.
I am shocked. Based on his behavior of this last 10 days, I can't believe he's in the files. Who would have ever guessed that?
President Trump said all along that he flew on his plane. Just because you're on the list doesn't mean doesn't mean you're a pedophile.
Before leaving town Wednesday, a House subcommittee voted to subpoena the DOJ for the Epstein files, and the Oversight Committee announced it will also interview Maxwell in prison.
What is Donald Trump hiding that he won't release the Epstein files?
Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney says she wants to talk to the DOJ and will tell the truth, but neither side will discuss whether a deal will be cut for her cooperation. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Joining us now is Oakland University political science professor Dave Dulio. Dave, always good to see you. Thank you for taking the time.
Well, thanks for having me back, Aaron. Good to see you, too.
Good to see you. So I definitely want to start with the Epstein case because it's been kind of a whirlwind week at the congressional level. You saw the House Oversight Committee vote 8-2, 3 Republicans joining to subpoena records and also Ghislaine Maxwell. And that came a day after House Speaker Mike Johnson sent lawmakers home early to avoid a vote on the matter. What does this say about what's going on in Congress and Johnson's control of his own party?
Yeah, I think it's clearly an indication that the Republican Party is divided, and Speaker Johnson has got some mavericks in his caucus that are causing him some headaches. I think it demonstrates really too the division.
All right, we're going to try and fix the audio. We have some issues going on there with Dave Dulio and that interview. We will get back to that in just a few minutes. Right now, though, we want to get to a mystery rooted right here in Metro Detroit and a question people have been asking for 50 years. What happened to Jimmy Hoffa? He disappeared after eating at a Bloomfield Hills restaurant and this afternoon, Fox 2's Taryn Asher has a look back. It's video. See what happens in preview. All right, again, having some technical issues. I believe we have this package. Let's go to that.
They have received to date the highest single wage of any worker in America out of their fight.
Jimmy Hoffa was kind of a force of nature.
It's something that really kind of caught all of our imagination.
He was such a large figure. Everybody knew about Jimmy Hoffa.
He grabbed the spotlight. He loved it.
But where is he? And where is the FBI?
At the present time, we have no information as to the present whereabouts of Mr. Hoffa.
When he disappeared, everybody was stunned.
We have faith that someone, somehow, somewhere can help us locate our father.
It's a mystery, and
it'll be solved.
It's one of the major mysteries, I think, in the world of news, which was never solved.
Where is Jimmy Hoffa? That's the real question, I think, that continues to fascinate people.
He was 5 feet 5 inches tall with a colossal persona.
Because fortunately our men are strong, militant, willing to fight, and will not surrender nor will they lay down the battle.
The legendary labor leader, unrestrained by law, unafraid of lawmakers, and undaunted by death.
No violent action will take place against me.
His hair slicked back and his palms greased, he walked with the swagger of a gangster, which is exactly the company he kept.
We're exempting everyone but racketeers and hoodlums and crooks.
I would like to have you address that language, sir.
I'm not talking necessarily about you. I'm talking about the people you've surrounded yourself with.
His position as union president outsized only by his ego.
And I don't compromise to nobody in my position.
He is the centerpiece of the continuing conundrum of the 20th century. What happened to Jimmy Hoffa? The case perplexing law enforcement and puzzling the public. How could this happen? Who did it? First, we have to look back into what made Jimmy Hoffa one of the most powerful figures and recognizable faces in America. He had moved to Detroit as a kid and got a job at Kroger to support his family.
They were moving strawberries off a dock. He felt like the working conditions were unfair. He convinced all the adults around him to kind of let those strawberries sit out on the dock, do a work slowdown, and the management caved to their demands.
He began his career with the Teamsters in 1933, a union representing a broad range of workers with blue collars and white collars, craving a leader who'd give them the shirt off their back. He joined a local in Detroit, eventually rising to become president in 1957. He opened his mouth and stuck out his neck, pouring his heart into his passion, the American worker. Under his leadership, membership exploded, growing from 75,000 in 1933 to more than 2 million in 1967. The pension fund amassing mountains of money, he turned it into a bank for the mob.
Super low-cost loans when Las Vegas was getting built, things like that.
His connections drawing the attention of the feds.
I don't think that he belongs as head of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. I think that that is a national disgrace.
His feud with John and Bobby Kennedy, legendary.
It is another propagandized vehicle for Robert Kennedy to try to put through in the United States a wiretap bill.
Hoffa frequently testifying and frequently testy.
There's no question about Mr. Goldblatt, although there can be a question about Mr. Hoffa. There's no question about Mr. Goldblatt.
Oh, wait a minute, just a moment. Don't say anything about a question about Hoffa. There is no question about Hoffa, and don't you say that either. Don't you say that I'm a communist or even affiliated with one. You said that enough around this country, and I want the American press to know that I resent the fact that there is any inference that I'm a communist, that I'm associated with or controlled by communists, and don't use this as a sounding board for headlines for that purpose. And I appeal to the chair that that be taken out of the record and that nobody cast any aspersions on my loyalty to this country.
Finally, in 1964, the law caught up with him. The feds convicting him of fraud, jury tampering, and conspiracy. The verdict upsetting the members who appreciated all that he'd done for them. How
do you feel about Jimmy getting convicted?
Well, I think that he got railroaded.
He has done wonders for the truck drivers and all members of the Teamsters locals.
He's done more good for us than he's done bad.
He went to prison in '67, a sentence of 13 years, later commuted by the president.
James Riddle Hoffa, released from prison on parole by President Nixon.
When he got out, he was determined to reclaim what he felt was his rightful role as president of the Teamsters. But under the terms of his commutation, that wasn't allowed. But that didn't stop Hoffa. He sued. He publicly ripped the sitting head of the Teamsters, threatening to out him for connections to the mob.
When asked if he would like once again to become president of the Teamsters, he said carefully, any man who wouldn't want to be president of the Teamsters would have to be a fool or an idiot. Bill Applegate, TV2 Eyewitness News at the Federal Building.
In his mind, he was untouchable. Too important to go away, too brash to silence, and too tough to kill.
Hoffa felt kind of invincible. He felt like nothing bad was going to happen to him in his hometown.
While he tried to stay a step ahead of the law, he couldn't outrun his fate. Teamsters members were set to vote on their next president in the fall of '75. The mob didn't want him. Union leadership didn't want him. He wanted to run as a write-in, and it was feared that members would put him back in charge.
My restrictions are removed. I would leave it up to the membership to determine whether or not they wanted James R. Hoffa to be the president of the International Union.
On July 30th, 1975, he agreed to meet Tony Giacalone, Tony Jack as he was known, at the Macus Red Fox in Bluefield Township. Tony and his brother Billy Giacalone were intermediaries with the mob in New York who had soured on Hoffa.
Tony Jack had been trying to arrange a meeting with Hoffa for a long time. He wanted him to meet another guy out of New Jersey, Tony Provenzano. Hoffa didn't want to meet him.
But he agreed to meet Tony Jack. He knew him. He trusted him. But Giacalone didn't show on time. And then, at 3 o'clock, another car with 3 people inside pulled up, and Jimmy got in.
After Jimmy Hoffa drives away in the burgundy Mercury Marquis, everything after that is a theory.
They said, we're changing your story. Jimmy Hoffa is missing. And I was, well, my team and I were, what?
All right, we'll have much more on Hoffa's life and disappearance on Fox 2 over the next several days. We got a lot to unpack there. Tuesday on Fox 2 News at 10, tune in for Taryn's rare, revealing sit-down with Jimmy Hoffa's son, James P. Hoffa. That's Tuesday night right here on Fox 2. Right now it is 3:39 and a scorcher of a day outside. Chief Meteorologist Rich Luderman here tracking this hot stretch.
It's toasty out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 93 at the top of the hour at Metro Airport. A couple of my microphone.
Oh no!
Oh no! Wait a minute.
All right, we got this.
Is that better? Is that better?
That is much better.
Oh man! See that? There's so much going on in the world of weather. I'm so excited. Take the map. Take the map, and I'm going to just start talking over the map. So here are the current numbers. 93 for us. Hillsdale, look at that. Bad Axe, Port Huron. It's pretty toasty out there all across lower Michigan. Now, when you factor in the humidity, some of the heat index values are right there near 100. The good news is once we get beyond 8 o'clock, you know, these numbers will start to come down because we'll see some storms likely this evening, but also, you know, we lose the daytime heating and temperatures do fall off. Notice where all the action is right now. It's not here. It's up there in Saginaw Bay, around Tawas and Oscoda. They're getting some storms, so there's no storms imminent. However, if you look at the end of the animation, see around Chicago, some storms are building. So as a result, there is a severe thunderstorm watch for western Michigan into central Michigan until 9 o'clock. That does not include Metro Detroit. We do have this heat advisory until 8 o'clock. Here's a great look at Sky Tracker. A couple of little cells trying to blow up near Kalamazoo. You can see them there very small, but certainly there's heavy action right now in Saginaw Bay. Those will clip Huron County for the tip of the thumb. Let's talk some more about these current readings. Right now, 93 at Metro Airport with a breeze from the south and southwest. 95 for Howell and Pontiac. 96 up there in Mount Clement. How about Lapeer, Aaron?
Wow.
Are you excited by that?
No, not at all.
It's 97 degrees at the airport in Lapeer. I mean, that's very, very warm. Let me show you the dew points. Certainly they're up as well, so it's heat and humidity that we're dealing with. But notice that slice of yellow that's up there close to Traverse City. That's the cold front that'll be bending in the region later on tonight, and that'll bring the heat down, especially after midnight. So for the next few hours, it's going to be very hot, humid, but the best chance for storms will be between 6 o'clock and midnight. Tomorrow is not as hot, and you'll see that in the forecast. The severe outlook, that area in yellow, does not include Metro Detroit, so that's the best chance for some of those stronger storms for Lansing and Kalamazoo up there close to Big Rapids. Here's our forecast tonight. Very warm, humid, a couple of storms this evening, and the big threat will be the heavy downpours where the storms occur. 86 tomorrow, not as hot, still on the muggy side. Spotty storms Friday, but most of the time it will not be raining Friday. Look at Saturday, a few storms. So I think there's a better chance for some rain and storms on Saturday than there is on Friday. And then how about that? The end of the forecast, next Wednesday and Thursday. Look at those numbers, Tom. Beautiful. Aaron, 83 Wednesday, 79 Thursday. There's your cool down. There it is. There it is. I'm so excited. I'm going to go put makeup on.
Do it to it.
And get my maps. Thank you, Aaron.
Take your mic off.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that
absolutely.
too.
Rich, thank you so much. And we're going to work to get you that interview with Dave D'Ulio. If we don't have it for this show, we'll have it on fox2detroit.com. We are also talking about flight faux pas and a controversial change for school doctor notes. You know what that means. Ronya's Rundown is coming up right here on Fox 2 Detroit live at 3. Stick around. It is 3:45 as we welcome you back to Fox 2 Detroit live at 3. And we want to have a fun note right now, and that only means one thing, a person who needs absolutely no introduction, but I'm going to give her one anyway. One of my favorite people, my desk mate and my good friend, Ronya Shimona is here with Ronya's Rundown. How are you, Ronya?
What a beautiful introduction. I feel so special.
You absolutely are.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Aaron. And by the way, for those of you watching, Aaron is my roommate here at Fox 2. So we sit side by side every day, all day.
We do, and we love to confuse people by calling each other roomie all the time, too.
So good to join you, roomie.
Hi, roomie.
I have so much to talk about today, starting with a school district in Tennessee that is making some major headlines over their new school policy when it comes to absences. You ready for this?
Yep.
Doctor's notes will no longer be excusable absences. Now,
what?
I know this doesn't sound like much, but wait till I give you the details here, because this Tennessee school district in Lawrence County says it's time to boost attendance, and if we're going to do that, we're not allowing doctor's notes for absences. And now kids who miss 8 or more days, sick or not, could be sent to juvenile court for truancy. Yes, I am not making this up. The district says exemptions will be rare, and even going home, calling it a sick day with a nurse, could be counted as a tardy.
Come on.
Yes, and parents are pushing back, saying, listen, leaders are standing firm. Parents are saying, I don't know about this. this to me is very surprising because if you remember, it was just 5 years ago when anyone had a cold symptom.
Yeah.
Everyone was worried about COVID. And now a simple sick day might not even be possible here.
Well, and you as a parent know this. My mom's a teacher, Ronya. Those schools are like petri dishes as is just in terms of germs. So that if I were a parent, I would not feel good about being forced to send my kid to school, possibly because even because the doctor's note doesn't cut it.
Or you can be like my children's school, and if there's even a postnasal drip, they are calling me and saying, it is time to come pick up your son or daughter because we are not getting sick. So
oh, man.
This is very interesting, and I'm actually going to stay on top of this because I do want to see if this will get changed over time. It just seems a little too much.
Yeah, my kids should just get like 6, 8, 10
a few sick days, yes.
We get 9.
Well, 9, yeah.
Yeah.
And think about it. Between sick days, here we have snow days at school, by the way. So kids are missing school, even if it's snowing a certain amount because of the buses. They can't get to school safely. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to follow up. And, of course, I'll be on top of it.
Always.
All right. We got to talk about the TSA.
Okay.
We know they came up with new rules about you don't have to take your shoes off. But they're saying, listen, that doesn't mean this same rule goes for being on the flight without shoes.
And nor should it.
And nobody is trying to look at feet, right? So the TSA obviously came up with the new rule, and now flight attendants say, listen, you should never be doing that on the plane. Keep your shoes on. Now, while there are exemptions to the rule for long-haul flights or ones that distribute slippers, and I don't know which flight you're on that's giving you slippers.
First class, maybe,
because
but
I don't even think I've ever had slippers. I think I went on one first class flight, never got slippers. Now I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah.
So flight attendants say, listen, leave your shoes on for the comfort of everyone, not just yourself. And in addition to that being common courtesy, travel experts say being barefoot can become a safety hazard, especially in emergency situations.
Yeah.
Think of it. If you have to run for the door, things happen.
You could possibly slip, and forgetting the safety hazard, the smell of all those feet. Let's be honest, nobody's feet smell good. Just putting it out there, no one's feet smell good. I know that's really not breaking news here, but that's a good reminder, and one that really shouldn't have to be had.
Yeah, keep your shoes on. Nobody's trying to see your feet, especially if they're not polished and looking fine.
All right, we're unfortunately running out of time, but I got to hear this taco. I know I got to hear this Taco Bell story though.
New custom menu. This is great for Taco Bell fans. Ready for this? If there's anything you think missing from the menu that you want, time to speak up because the fast food chain is launching a fan-style app where you could place a restaurant's app order and create your own stuff. Share the whole custom order with Taco Bell. Taco Bell says the more a fan's custom meal gets ordered by others, the more reward points they'll earn. And certainly fan-created orders will then be featured on the national menu later this year. I'm not a Taco Bell person.
Neither am I.
Aaron, if you had one option, what would it be on the menu?
Probably the breakfast crunch wrap. I'd probably try something with that. That's easy for me.
Crunchwrap Supreme.
100%. Never a bad choice. Ronya Shimona, thank you so much for joining us. As always, good to see you, my friend. And we are going to end this hour with our interview with Oakland University political science professor Dave Dulio. Joining us now is Oakland University political science professor Dave Dulio. Dave, always good to see you. Thank you for taking the time.
Well, thanks for having me back, Aaron. Good to see you, too.
Good to see you. So I definitely want to start with the Epstein case because it's been kind of a whirlwind week at the congressional level. You saw the House Oversight Committee vote 8-2, 3 Republicans joining to subpoena records, and also Ghislaine Maxwell. And that came a day after House Speaker Mike Johnson sent lawmakers home early to avoid a vote on the matter. What does this say about what's going on in Congress and Johnson's control of his own party?
Yeah, I think it's clearly an indication that the Republican Party is divided, and Speaker Johnson has got some mavericks in his caucus that are causing him some headaches. I think it demonstrates really too the divisions that are appearing to, for the first time, really, in much of President Trump's base. I think we've seen the potential fracturing of his most loyal supporters, and which is arguably one of the most interesting things to come out of this so far.
And for sure, you see that, and I'm wondering, what do we think comes out of this, all of these subpoenas, all of this testimony? Because now we're also seeing, after the Wall Street Journal report, that they possibly want to talk to Attorney General Pam Bondi as well.
Right. I think who knows in the long run, right? And who knows what happens based on maybe what could come out earlier than maybe in other instances, right? So I imagine you'll see some congressional hearings, but that's about it, right? And until and unless the other shoe drops when it comes, coming out of those hearings, and depending on what information is, if anything, is uncovered.
And we always talk about as well with President Trump, he's been trying to really kind of tamp down on all of this. Looking at the political fallout here, it kind of seems like we talked about last week when you were on the Pulse, that there's that division in the MAGA base as well. Do you think this has long-term repercussions for the president with trying to not get these files released? Or is it kind of that classic, hey, voters have long memories, it might not really impact the midterms?
Well, I think it is very unlikely to impact the midterms in any significant way, simply because, those House races for sure, and to a lesser degree, U.S. Senate races, those are won and lost in large part on local issues, and this is not one of those. So I think that, is there an issue maybe with enthusiasm among the Trump base that could help or actually hurt them in terms of fundraising or voter turnout? Potentially, but I think it's at the margins, and I think that this is more of a political story than an election story.
Fair enough, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the fallout ends up being from this. And as much as we say wait and see, we always say as well that this news cycle is really like drinking from a fire hose, Dave. It seems like something every single day. I want to turn to the birthright citizenship battle real quick, because an appeals court came out and upheld the block on President Trump's order trying to limit and end that. That'll likely go before the Supreme Court if the previous cases are any indication. And is it really a mystery of where the Supreme Court's going to rule on this? Because this was in front of them before, and they didn't really take up that issue. It was more the nationwide injunctions.
Right, and I think that it's, first off, it's hard to overstate the importance of that case, where the Supreme Court did limit district courts' ability to hear a case and then have it apply across the country. That's going to have repercussions in many, many, many other instances. I think, the meat of this case about birthright citizenship is, let's go back to something you said just a couple seconds ago, right? We never know what's coming, right? And we're literally we're drinking from a fire hose of information. It applies here too, right? We just don't know in this crazy political era that we're in, and what to expect. And I think if this were any other era, it might be pretty easy to say, well, the tea leaves are that the Supreme Court would block this attempt. But the court is, as you know, 6-3 with Republican nominated judges, and do they have the votes to allow President Trump to try to limit birthright citizenship? My guess is no, but boy, never say never.
Yeah, and just it seems like maybe a few years ago you might be saying, well, it's in the Constitution, so that alone would potentially be an indicator of where the justices stand. But like you said, just really hard to tell in this day and age.
Yeah, and I think too that we always have to remember that language in the Constitution is interpreted, and there's flexibility built into that document, which has served us well over the years, and that's been really important. And to have that document be applicable to modern times and to modern questions. This is one of those instances where we got many of these Republican judges, I should say justices of the Supreme Court, who've talked about being originalists and using the plain language of the Constitution as a way to understand these weighty questions that come up. So, while on one hand, the Constitution and the language around birthright citizenship is arguably pretty clear and would be, therefore, for those originalists, pretty plain. You never know, right, how somebody's going to interpret a language that for some of us might be plain and simple, but maybe they don't see it that way.
Absolutely. A lot of complicated issues we're following. Dave Dulio here to help sort through all of them. Dave, as always, we're really grateful for you joining us.
My pleasure, Aaron. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. It's Thursday, July 24th, and I'm your host, Rob Walchek, and welcome to our show.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
Southfield police have arrested a Texas man accused of sex trafficking women across several states. 33-year-old Randolph Lewis of Arlington, Texas, is charged with human trafficking, prostitution, and criminal sexual conduct. The investigation started on Monday when officers were dispatched to the Quality Inn Hotel on Telegraph on a report of domestic disturbance. Chief Barron says there were approximately 10 other victims they're trying to track down.
These victims, some as young as 17 years old, were coerced, threatened, and manipulated into a life of sex trafficking. Through a surveillance operation from the Southfield Police Department's Tactical Surveillance Unit, interviews and forensic evidence, and cooperation from the Oakland County Human Trafficking Task Force, we were able to build a case that led to this significant arrest.
Fox 2's Amy Lang is looking into the case, and we'll have a full report tonight at 5. New bills moving through Lansing would allow mouth swabs to test for drugs with results in just minutes. Promised change has support behind it, but others are expressing concerns. Fox 2's Camille Amiri explains what's at stake.
We all have family on the road, wives, brothers, sisters, mom and dad, kids.
And we want them to be safe. Keeping impaired drivers, whether it be a result of alcohol or drugs, off the road is crucial.
Honest to God, this last Saturday, I almost got hit by somebody that I thought was under the influence. And it was, I mean, I'm not going to tell you it was the scariest day of my life, but it was definitely a scary experience.
Now, some state lawmakers want police to be able to swab the mouth to test for drugs. Former Detroit Assistant Police Chief Steve Dolant.
I think it's an invasion of privacy from a citizen's perspective and from law enforcement. It helped me solve crimes.
And likely serve as a deterrent if impaired drivers know they can be tested for drugs during a traffic stop. Proponents of the testing say it's safe, reliable, and non-invasive, but those against the idea say the tests aren't accurate.
It has a significant failure rate that we are extremely concerned with. Almost 11% of all tests on the roadside produced either a false positive or a false negative. When you break it down to just the positives, so all the tests roadside that tested positive, 1 in 4 of those, almost 1 in 4 of those were incorrect.
Perhaps Billy Bazzi said it best.
Probably get it to a 99.9% accuracy, or at least somewhere in the ballpark before sticking the stick.
And as the law stands right now, if you're pulled over for drinking and driving, you can refuse that breathalyzer. Then, of course, they will take you to a hospital and they'll have your blood drawn and use those blood alcohol content as far as the testing goes. Now, would that be the case in this situation? Of course, that remains to be seen. Still a lot of unanswered questions on this one, but we'll continue to stay on top of it. In Oak Park, Camille Amiri, Fox 2 News.
Sad news in the world of wrestling. Hulk Hogan has died at the age of 71. Fox 2's Brandon Hudson is a big fan of wrestling. He's my tag team partner. And he.
You guys are color coordinated.
Yeah, well, are we? I don't know.
I sort of, yeah. I mean,
the
blue and the red kind of make purple, so it matches his tie.
Yeah, so he joins us now with thoughts on the passing. Now, Brandon, I didn't even know when I came into work, this when I learned of this. I was kind of busy this morning, and I guess I didn't check on the news, and I was shocked because I didn't even know he was sick or anything.
No, so I heard he had medical issues, and I think over the course of his long wrestling career, I heard TMZ Michael Babcock, he was on the Noon today, and he had said that Hogan had made a remark that really none of the body parts that were currently in his body he was born with because of the toll that wrestling took on his body. But like you, this is a shock. I mean, he was 71, so I'd heard about this while I was on the set. While I was during the 11 a.m. and someone had mentioned it and we looked into it and the TMZ had started to report it. I think some other outlets were picking up on it shortly thereafter. But this is a tremendous loss. And, his extracurricular issues outside of the ring aside, I think we want to take a time to, celebrate his legacy. And, he put WWE on the map. I mean, all the things that you see there, you saw in that promo video there, those were really kind of built on the back of Hulk Hogan and what he did in WWF and now WWE. But he was really known as the guy during the rock and roll wrestling era. And then, he had moved on to another promotion, WCW, and rebuilt his career there.
Guy?
Yeah, he became Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah.
He rejuvenated his career in a lot of ways that a lot of wrestlers don't get a chance to do. But he was able to sustain his career, longevity, because he was able to shapeshift, while he was working on his character. And
I don't think there's any question that he's by far the biggest star that's ever come out of wrestling. I mean, I guess The Rock is big too, but I mean,
Steve Austin. But really, Hogan paved the way for both of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was not only when I read the intro and I said sad news in the world of wrestling. I'm not really a big wrestling fan. I, of course, watched it when my kids were young and we watched wrestling, and I like it and all that. But I mean, I was not a wrestling fan in the 80s, but I certainly knew who Hulk Hogan was because he was on a million commercials. He was in the Rocky movie playing the bad guy who beats up Rocky. And, he was an amazing...
Thunderlips. So Mr. T was Clover Lane. And then, but Tom, to your story, man, look, WrestleMania 1 was Mr. T and Hulk Hogan teaming up, and that's what propelled Hogan to more mainstream fame. And just to make things more local here, WrestleMania 3 was in Pontiac at the Silverdome. That's where he body slammed Andre the Giant. So that added to the legacy, to the lore of Hulk Hogan, and that he was a larger than life character. I mean, he was really tall. I think he was 6'8". And he always talked about the 24-inch pythons, his arms, 24-inch muscles on his arms. All that added to the lore and the legacy of Hulk Hogan, and it is celebrated, even today. I think you can ask anyone in this newsroom, probably don't watch wrestling, but they can tell you who Hulk Hogan was.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. In the 80s, I did not watch wrestling. I was a young man who... you
were a DJ, right?
I was a DJ, and I was, off having fun and doing things like that.
Hanging out with the Lakers.
Certainly certainly I was... knew who Hulk Hogan was. He was this larger-than-life figure. He was super muscular, a fantastic specimen of man, and a giant. And then he was a talented guy too. He wasn't just like an untalented doofus out there wrestling. He could talk, he could act. He was a big star, and he became a big star. Really, a huge celebrity. I would imagine that guys like him, you could go to pretty much any country in the world, and there are people wearing Hulk Hogan T-shirts, and people know who Hulk Hogan is. Really, an international celebrity.
Yeah, he was here last year during Lions training camp. He was making a stop on the way through his tour, promoting his new Real American beer. But I'll say this, and for Hulk Hogan, it really wasn't about the wrestling moves in the ring. And you have your technical wrestlers, you have your character wrestlers, and you have people like Hulk Hogan who, they sold you on storytelling. And I think that's what attracted a lot of people to Hulk Hogan was he knew how to tell a story within those four ropes, or in those four sides. And so when you think about wrestling, it's not so much the moves that he did. He wasn't big on headlocks and suplexes and sleeper holes. He did them, but I think his main move was the leg drop and the boot and the leg drop. But he made you invest as a viewer in his character. Was he going to survive this fight? Was he going to make it through? And then at the very end, just like a good guy does in a lot of movies and a lot of conflicts, he pulled through. And I think that's what got a lot of people to buy into Hulk Hogan, the character, as well as, he was a great person on the mic too. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. All the actions that he did made him a great character. And I think that's why he was so universally loved.
Yeah, and just an interesting looking guy, super muscular, the blonde hair and all that. Terry Bollea, is that his name?
Terry Bollea, yeah.
Yeah, Bollea, yeah. Now, he, that's his real name. Any idea at this time about what may have led to his dying? Was it obviously these guys, they lived tremendously rough lives, and I'm guessing that he probably took some steroids over the years and obviously punished his body. Any clue as to what the cause of death is?
I think as of right now, TMZ was reporting a cardiac arrest issue. I'm sure that we'll learn more about this. And this all started because and this is per Michael Babcock, who was on the Noon earlier today. He had said they had gotten a call about a medical issue at Hulk Hogan's house in Clearwater, Florida. And then Michael had called a friend of his who was close with Hulk Hogan, and he said the guy on the phone was just in tears, saying that they lost Hulk. So as of right now, they're reporting a cardiac issue with the situation, but we'll see. As the investigation into what happened continues.
Two really big stars this week. Ozzy Osbourne. Who's the other
Malcolm
three?
Jamal
Tom
Warner,
said three.
yeah.
I mean, Ozzy and Hulk Hogan are two, international superstar guys. Who's the other one, Tom?
Malcolm Jamal Warner from the Cosby Show.
Oh yeah, that's
Theo
right.
Huxtable.
Yeah, and he was a big. He was a big star too, but really nothing along the lines of Hulk Hogan and
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy. I mean, those guys were, huge superstars, international superstars. People, I mean, I would imagine you can go to any country in the world and see people wearing T-shirts with Hulk Hogan.
Red and yellow, or the NWO black and white.
Yeah, big star. I often I've traveled a little bit to the world, and I always found it remarkable that anywhere in the world people wear Bob Marley shirts. Bob Marley, I always thought Bob Marley's got to be the biggest star in the world because you can go anywhere in the world and there are people wearing Bob Marley shirts, and I would imagine same thing with Hulk Hogan and Ozzy.
Yeah, especially after this week.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, Brandon.
Rob, I appreciate it, man.
All right. It is hot today, and we're going to get a break this weekend, perhaps. Rich Luderman is up next with the forecast. Fox 2 Detroit Live getting started. We'll be right back. And we are taking a live look. Tom, I have no idea. What is that?
Mackinac Island.
That's Mackinac Island. Okay.
Look at
all
the
right.
horses. There's a
all right.
horse
All right. Well, I just saw a bunch of little houses and stuff.
See the
Beautiful.
horses at the bottom?
I see it. Yes, Mackinac Island. I didn't know we had a camera up in Mackinac Island. But yeah, I know. I've been to Mackinac Island. Okay. Beautiful. Looks like a beautiful day on Mackinac Island, and I'll bet it's a lot cooler up there.
It is cooler.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back.
One year we got permission to bring our satellite truck out to the island.
Oh.
Tom with some fascinating
Side notes.
Tom, who told us that we can't take too much time BSing, and it throws in that he got to take a satellite truck onto the island. Anyways, welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit, and we're going to go straight into the weather because he's got a lot of stuff.
I do.
Here.
First things first, Rob. It's very hot out there. It's muggy. We have this severe thunderstorm watch in that purpley shade of purple.
That's pink.
Pink purple, yeah.
That's pink.
That's where so it does not include Metro Detroit. Now, those orange boxes up near Lansing and then in the tip of the thumb, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. Thankfully, there's nothing imminent storm-wise for us. I'm going to show you the heat. These are current readings, 94 for us, 93 in Lansing, 91 up there in Port Huron. How about heat index values? This is when you factor in the humidity. This is what it feels like. At times, better than 100 degrees. Notice we have a weak cold front slicing across the Great Lakes, a big cluster of storms up over Lake Huron, and then a developing cluster of storms closer to Chicago. If we zoom in, you'll see that there's one or two storms there just west of Jackson and Lansing. We're going to zero in with a sky tracker, but a couple of colors here. The orange is the heat advisory until 8 o'clock. That pinky purple is the severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock. Here's the radar. See a couple of developing cells just west of Lansing, just west of Jackson. Some heavier activity there in Huron County. That's up near the tip of the thumb for Port Austin, for Bad Axe. They're getting some storms with heavy downpours and gusty winds. But for us, there's nothing pending. You see, there's nothing around us, and that's okay. 94 degrees, Metro Airport. The hottest day we've had so far this spring, summer. We had we had 2 95-degree days in late June.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems cool.
We're not even there yet.
In June.
We're not there yet.
Now, I would say oppressive heat when I stepped outside.
Let me tell you something, Rob. When I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Okay. We got the breeze out of the south.
Rich is on a roll.
Yeah. Woo! Dew points are up. Here's the heat. 94 for us for Fort Wayne as well.
Oppressive heat is what I would say.
Watch this cold front. It slices across the air. So tomorrow's not as hot. You get that?
Gotcha.
Tomorrow is not as hot. Still muggy, but not as hot. Saturday brings a renewed chance for some scattered storms. That yellow area, that's where the better chance for stronger storms will be. That does not include us. A few storms through the evening as we get down to 71, back to 86 tomorrow. So we're going to be down a good 7, 8, 9 degrees tomorrow. And then check out the 7-day. There's your storms on Saturday, hot again Monday, and then relief for next Wednesday and Thursday. You got all that? You have to repeat it back to me.
Yeah, it's going to be hot. And then we got storms on Saturday, which is my day off, which I would like to spend mowing the grass and hanging out by the pool. That doesn't look good.
I think we're running out of time.
Okay.
We got Miller waiting.
All right.
I'm out.
Thank you very much, Rich.
You.
A fascinating forecast.
Yes.
Hot day today. Storms tonight, possibly. All right. Up next, news from the Lions training camp. What the new defensive coordinator has to say about the return of Aiden Hutchinson. That's after the break. Jam-packed show today. The Lions getting ready for the upcoming season. Fox 2 Sports Director Dan Miller is here with the latest from training camp. Dan, so we got the big linebacker defensive dude coming back.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Exactly. One of the best players in the NFL. Great to see him back out there. He's with the Lions.
Yep.
And look, when they lost him last year against Dallas, that was a big deal. We didn't know how they'd be able to adapt. And over time, you could see that was a more significant loss as kind of the attrition built up on that defense. But, look, the question that I probably get more than any other is, how does Aiden look? Because obviously he's a Michigan guy. People around here absolutely love him. And I always tell him, look, to me, Aiden looks great. He sounds great. There he is, 97, right there behind Coach. He looks great, sounds great, says all the right things. He's worked his tail off to get back. He's relentless when it comes to things like rehabbing. And the one thing I'd say is, I will tell you he looks great, but it's going to mean much more getting the opinion of the Lions defensive coordinator, Kelvin Shepard, and we got that on Aiden Hutchinson today.
I'm not saying anything about numbers, statistics, or any of that, but I see a better player than we had last year. And you might be like, whoa, like that's the same thing I said when I saw him out there. I'm like, whoa. But if you know Hutch, which all of you do, and the way he works, the way he attacked his rehab, a week after the surgeries, he's in here trying to work out and things like that. It's no surprise. Now it's just about going out in live action, getting those hits, taking those blows, building that mental piece back to where it's not watch out for this in that moment. The joint practices will be really good for Hutch going against a foreign opponent where you don't kind of know and it's not as controlled and things like that. But I see a better player, quite frankly, and I'm looking for Hutch to have a big season, and he's one of the pillars of the defense.
All right.
There you go.
That's good to know. And he's a young guy. How old?
Solid endorsement.
Yeah, he's like what,
He's
23 or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, he's entering his third year in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a huge future. And he's also got a huge contract coming soon from the Lions. And with the way that defensive ends are getting paid, you're looking at somebody who's probably making $40 million plus here a year in the next couple of years. So, look, he is vital to the Lions defense. There's a handful of guys in this league that at that position can change a game with one play. And Aiden Hutchinson's one of them. And the Lions need to get him back to where he was, and it looks like he's headed in that direction.
Okay, so we're going to switch to the Tigers now. What do the Tigers got to do? What happened? We're not doing so great.
Technically speaking, Rob, they need to score more runs than the other team.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at. That's really where it starts. That's really where it starts.
Is that it, huh?
They have not done that in 9 of their last 10 games. So they're in the worst stretch of the season that we've seen so far. Their lead in the American League Central is down to 8, and that's still significant, but, it was up around 13 a week and a half ago. So, look, they got to find a way to start winning some games. They got the Blue Jays coming in. They're one of the best teams in baseball. So we got a heck of a weekend series coming up at Comerica Park in a series with the Tigers. Need to find a way to at least split it. If they could win 3 out of 4, that'd be fantastic. 4 out of 4 would be out of this world. But that division is suddenly looking more interesting than it did. You love having an 8-game lead, which is what they have. Mm-hmm. But you'd love even more to get back to playing some good baseball, and certainly coming off the 3-game sweep at the hands of the Pirates, they would love to do that. Scuba will be out there on Saturday. Even more significant to people like us, Rob, is we will be out there tomorrow night. The Tigers game is going to be right here on Fox 2 tomorrow night. Pre-game show starts at 6 o'clock. Game starts at 7:10. You'll see every pitch right here on Fox 2. Stick around afterwards for our post-game show. So they need to start winning, and we're really excited that we have the game coming up here on Fox 2 tomorrow night.
Do you think that maybe the Tigers need you and me? I mean, we're a couple of ex-high school baseball players. Probably got get down there and maybe kind of pep talk them, work them out a little bit.
Pep talk? Okay, we can talk a good game. If you were talking about putting on a glove or grabbing a bat, I don't think either one of us would be able to help.
Come on.
But couldn't
hurt.
What
They've been losing.
need to do is get back to playing the way they were playing 2 weeks ago, where you had guys coming up with clutch hits. I mean, you just look at what guys have done over the last 8-10 games. Everybody is in a significant dip right now. From Riley Green on down. And they just need to get back to doing what they've been doing. Don't try to do more than that. Don't try to, score 3 runs with one swing. Just get in there and play your game 1 out at a time. We know that this team's capable of it. And, it's time to get out of this tailspin.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dan.
No, thank you.
And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We're giving you a live look at, there's Belle Isle, and look at that. It's a beautiful day. It's hot out there. There's the island, probably a little bit cooler out there on the Detroit River. And we're taking a look at, we're going to turn now to the reignited Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Today, the U.S. Deputy Attorney General is expected to meet with Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine, how do you say it? Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine? No, I think it's Ghislaine. It's like Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. Fox's Rebecca Castor has more on what prosecutors hope to uncover.
Recent photos show Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, going for a run inside the grounds of a federal prison in Tallahassee. She's been behind bars since 2020 when she was first arrested and later convicted of helping Epstein abuse teenage girls.
She is the Rosetta Stone. She knows everything. She arranged every single trip with everybody.
That's why prosecutors at the Justice Department want to sit down with her as they dig deeper into Epstein's crimes and try to uncover who else may be involved.
The president spoke to this yesterday, and he said he thinks it's an appropriate idea.
President Trump encouraged the DOJ to reopen their investigation after facing intense public demand for answers on Epstein's potential clients. Earlier this month, the agency claimed there wasn't anything else to find, but Fox News can confirm the Attorney General told Trump his name was in the files.
I am shocked. Based on his behavior of this last 10 days, I can't believe he's in the files. Who would have ever guessed that?
President Trump said all along that he flew on his plane. Just because you're on the list doesn't mean doesn't mean you're a pedophile.
Before leaving town Wednesday, a House subcommittee voted to subpoena the DOJ for the Epstein files, and the Oversight Committee announced it will also interview Maxwell in prison.
What is Donald Trump hiding that he won't release the Epstein files?
Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney says she wants to talk to the DOJ and will tell the truth, but neither side will discuss whether a deal will be cut for her cooperation. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
New developments today in that Jeffrey Epstein case. Fox News' Roop Raj, the host of The Pulse. He's joining us now with more. What's the latest on this crazy Epstein saga that just seems to go on, and I got a feeling it's going to continue to go on and on?
It probably will, and here's why. You have information coming from different buckets. I want you to think for a moment about where different information can come from. You got the grand jury stuff that you and I talked about the last few days, where that testimony that there's a battle as to whether or not to unseal it. What can be revealed there? Not much. Everyone there is saying, look, that's just law enforcement reflecting back what we already know. So whether or not that's released or not, as President Trump has said, yeah, release the grand jury stuff. That's not where the meat of this stuff is. The real meat is in the transcripts and in the files that are sitting with Attorney General Pam Bondi. And as you now know, Pam Bondi told the president just a few months ago in May, hey, by the way, your name has popped up several times in the files. That does not, and you got to be really clear about that, this does not mean that there's any wrongdoing. Jeffrey Epstein knew a heck of a lot of people in Hollywood and in Washington, as you know, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and so many other people. Knowing someone, hanging out with someone, and being criminally responsible are very different things, and that's something that we all have to keep in mind. And I think be responsible when we're reporting on this story. Knowing someone, hanging out with someone, and being involved with criminal activity are two separate things. But the Jeffrey Epstein case does continue. Look, now you got President Trump. There's so many people who are angry and upset. They want more information. They want the files released from the White House. Will that happen? We'll see. But what this interview with Ghislaine Maxwell, that's going to be somewhat telling. Alan Dershowitz, famous attorney and one who's been talking a lot about this case, has publicly said on Fox and other networks that what comes from Ghislaine Maxwell, she has nothing to lose. She literally is serving 20 years behind bars, so it'll be fascinating to see what she has to say about potential client lists and other things like that.
Well, and the longer this goes on, there are more photos of Trump and Epstein together. I've seen like a bunch of pictures from his old wedding and this and that. I mean, clearly he was a close friend. There's a picture of the two of them together. I saw one of them where they were judging a beauty pageant together. I don't know. I would imagine Trump is not probably going to be too happy if they do release whatever information in there. Clearly, they were friends.
But clearly, so was Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton friends with this guy as well. In fact, the picture that we showed as you were saying that was of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton in a very presidential-looking photo of him officially greeting him. They were friends. And by the way, let's not pretend like, let's draw the curtain out here and talk about who's been friends with who. This is a tight circle. I've covered Washington for a while. Everyone knows everybody. And another thing, by the way, Hollywood, everyone knows everybody. And it's so funny to me that, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but President Bill Clinton and President Donald Trump were friends before President Trump ran for office in 2016. In fact, Ivanka Trump and Chelsea Clinton were best of friends, the two daughters who grew up together in these high-profile families. All of these guys know each other. They've all been, as you mentioned, at each other's weddings and ceremonies and friendships and birthday parties. And
they all want to be in charge.
And they all want to be in charge, as Tom says. The bottom line right now, we really have to be careful because this is where you get tabloid reporting and real news reporting mixed up. We have to be clear about this. People who know people and hung out with people and partied with people, that does not implicate people, Bill Clinton or Donald Trump or anyone else for that matter, in doing an actual crime with this person or with Ghislaine.
Right, but Trump and his followers, Trump has been promising, Bill Clinton hasn't been promising, release the files, release the files, release the files.
Well, there's a reason he's not been promising that, right?
What's that?
He doesn't want the files
released.
Well,
of course
Bill
not, but Trump has been saying, release the files, release the files, release the files. So I think that's why his followers are saying, well, you were acting like you wanted the files released and they're not. So, of course, I'm not insinuating that there's anything criminal involved with Trump, but, it is
He was friends with him for a long time. In 2004, President Trump had a very public kind of breaking up of the friendship that everyone reported upon back then. I was in New Orleans at the time. I remember covering a little bit about this stuff, and TMZ's been following it for many years now. But that's when Trump broke from Epstein and Ghislaine and said, "I don't want to be your friend." And by the way, at some point, Clinton and Hillary Clinton both also said, "Hey, we don't want to be buddies with you either." So at some point, at some level, everyone started seeing the writing on the wall about who this Epstein guy was and started disassociating themselves, both with Trump and Clinton and others. So it'll be interesting to see how this all lands. Look, the secret is in the sauce, and the sauce is where the files are, and the files aren't being released right now. So we're not going to know a lot until that finally comes out.
Okay, let's switch gears. Let's talk about those tariffs.
All right. Well, when it comes to the tariffs, there's a success story to talk about from this Trump administration in the White House. Japan finally reaching a deal with the White House on their trade. This is a big deal because we trade a lot with Japan, and Japan's a major country that does a lot of business. And President Trump and many Republicans said this has been an unfair, uneven trade practice with China, Japan, other big countries. And so, yeah, we need to do something about this. What do? They came up with a deal that essentially kind of came up with a rate where they're at a flat 15 rate reciprocal with Japan, right? So that was like all in flux. And now they know, all right, it's 15%. I think it's 17% with Indonesia. They came to a deal with them. So these reciprocal tariffs are important. Remember, there's a 10% kind of blanket tariff that's out there already. And then there's steel and aluminum that have a separate tariff. Then there's something called reciprocal tariffs. And that's kind of right now at a 15% rate with Japan. This means a lot of trade with Japan that opens up. They'll start buying American cars and getting rice from America. That's a big deal. And so obviously that's good for farmers in America, and that's good for autos in America. And that was a big victory lap for the Trump administration yesterday. However, I got to tell you, the Europeans out there, they've kept their rates, their trading rates flat for the first time. They came out and announced hey, we're uncertain about the future, the trade deficit, the trade war that's happening. We're going to keep our rates flat. And that's kind of an indicator of the future economy because Europe is worried. What's going to happen with all these trade wars? How's that going to influence our business? And so that was another big development that happened today.
All right. It's all being broken down tonight on The Pulse at 11:30. Roop's great show, and sounds like another great one tonight.
We're going to get you back on talking about something investigative. We had you on not long ago talking about California, but we'll get you back on one day soon.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Roop. Your show's great. Thank you, Roop Raj. Hey, all hail Macbeth. That's what it says. Royal Oaks. Shakespeare is tackling the Bard's famous tragedy this weekend. We'll get a preview next. Metro Detroit under a heat advisory this afternoon, folks. Doing the best they can to cope with the weather. Fox 2 Scott Walchuk joins us with more. Scott, you look hot out there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It is sweltering out. Feels like 100 in many locations across the metro area. That's why I'm sitting underneath an umbrella and right next to a giant fountain at Campus Martius. So we've had a lot of fun today going out, really kind of just talking to Detroiters who've been working out in this heat. I talked to a security guard who works at one of these restaurants behind me who's been out here all day. Guy was ready to go. He had his sweat towel going. He had a pink neck fan, and he had a little fan with his name on it so nobody could steal it. Also talked to a lady who was out here selling hot dogs. She's got a hot dog stand trying to beat the heat. And, of course, you know, we also followed around an HVAC guy who was out on a call out in Birmingham with some great tips about how to make sure that your AC is going to work throughout this terrible heat. And, of course, you know, we had to stop by, get some ice cream, talk to some ice cream folks, and last but not least, probably the most important, we talked to the health officer of Oakland County about signs of heat stroke and heat exhaustion. So really kind of the whole gambit of anything related to the heat. We went out and we talked to people about it today.
Yeah, I see you're not wearing a tie. I am wearing a suit and tie today because I have a big story later tonight, and I walked out a little bit earlier, and it is unbearable if you are not dressed correctly. So what is, I mean, it's kind of,
I've got my sleeves rolled up.
Yeah. Yeah, I described it as oppressive heat. However, Rich Luterman, the weather guy, didn't like that. I would say oppressive heat. What do you say, son?
Well, standing right here next to the fountain, it's not as humid. But I wouldn't say it's oppressive, but I would say that it's like going to, like, Florida, you know, it's very like Florida type day. Definitely hotter than your typical day out here. So people, they're sweating, they're feeling bad, but I wouldn't say it's like necessarily, oh, I'm stepping outside and I got to run back in. I'd say after about 5 minutes, you want to run in. So, you know, you're walking a fine line there. I think oppressive is fair to say, but we've probably all been through a little bit worse.
All right. And you got a package coming up at 5?
5 and 6. We're going to be live out here. Hopefully I can stand as close to this fountain as I can, because trust me, it's one of those things where I'm happy to be in the shade. I'm happy to be getting splashed.
Because of that oppressive heat, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we've got the heat dome. We've got the corn sweat. I say it's time to say oppressive heat.
All right. Thank you very much. Scott Walchuk live in the field. He'll have packages at 5 and 6, and I'm sure they'll be entertaining. Thanks, buddy. All right. And we're going to talk to Rich. You see that? My son is out there in the field, and he says, Rich, that is oppressive heat. My dad is right. Go ahead. Let's talk about the heat.
Now listen, Rob, you're from California. I mean,
we don't have that kind of humidity out there. I used to work in Fresno and Bakersfield out in the Central Valley. It would be 105 degrees. That was oppressive heat, but I would say today is oppressive. Put me down, that heat.
I'm just checking out my tie here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me get to it here. I got to be on the set in about 4 minutes. Now, so yes, it's hot. Yes, it's humid. We have this severe thunderstorm watch with this pinky purpley color there from Lansing to Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo, also around Jackson. There's a chance for some stronger storms. That orange box you see up in the thumb, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. So it's hot. There it is, 94 degrees. So far this spring and summer, we've actually hit 95 twice back in June. So today's not even the hottest day of the year so far, but it is tough out there. Look at the heat index values. A lot of us are up near 100 degrees when you factor in the humidity. Notice there is some storm clusters west of us and north of us. Nothing really imminent or right on top of us at the time, but we will likely see some scattered storms through the evening hours. Here is that heat advisory. This will expire at 8 o'clock. after or close to sunset, the numbers will start to come down. Here's what's on radar. Big storms up there in the tip of the thumb. A couple of storms north of Jackson, close to Lansing right now. But look at Metro Detroit. There's really not much on radar, and that's okay. But I think this evening we'll get some activity. Whether it's severe or not, that looks probable, or really not likely for severe weather, but there's always a chance. 94 degrees right now at Metro Airport. The dew points are up. The temperatures are up. There's Mount Clemens, Rob. What does it say there for Mount Clemens?
Oppressive heat.
It says 97. I mean,
Jeez, that is oppressive.
That's pretty hot, bro. I'll give you that. The breeze is from the south and west. The dew points are up near 70 for a lot of us. Check out some more numbers across the Great Lakes. We're one of the hot spots with Fort Wayne at 94. Now, this cold front will slide across the area late this evening. That means it's going to knock the heat down a bit, but not really the humidity. It's going to be rather muggy for the next few days. More storm chances for Friday and Saturday. Severe chances, the better of the chances, are going to be out closer to Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids. But that's our forecast. Some evening storms. 71 is the low. Tomorrow back to 86. Still warm, still muggy, but not as hot tomorrow. And then some more storms on Saturday. Sunday looks pretty nice. And then how about that? At the end of the forecast, some relief. Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday, 83 and 79. That's for you, Rob.
That is for me. Well, I don't even mind the oppressive heat if I can lay by the pool, but instead I had to put on a wool suit and come to work. and Rich, just to throw in there, perhaps I think it's oppressive also because I had to put air in my tire on the way in. I got a slow leak, so I had to go and pull over and pump some air in the tire with a old-fashioned hand pump. I mean, I had to...
Were you sweating? You were sweating, bro.
It was oppressive.
Good luck.
All right, thank you, Rich.
Okay, man.
Downtown Detroit has it all. Plenty to do. Lovely water views and even a beach. Summertime is returning to Campus Martius Park, where people can experience the boardwalk while soaking up some sun in our own urban oasis. Fox 2's Robin Murdoch has that story.
We are standing at Campus Martius Park, and it's hard to believe that I am in the middle of Detroit right now because it feels like I am at a beach oasis. In fact, I am not the only one who thinks that this is such an amazing spot. It was voted #1 public space by USA Today. I'm going to bring in Laura Dean. She is with the Downtown Detroit Partnership, and she helps put together a lot of the events that happen here in Campus Martius Park. And, today it is all about the beach, right?
Yeah, we're definitely here at the beach at Campus Martius Park, and we are so excited to have it open this summer. We expanded our footprint this year, so it's more of a oasis of beachy vibes. We have our great Cabana 313 behind us where you can get food and beverage, and you can just take your kids out, come play in the sand like the kids behind us, or you can come enjoy some live music that we have going on throughout the summer.
You guys have so many events set up for the summer. You have a number of beach parties that are going to still be happening. Every Thursday, you have shops that get set up here. There's Taco Tuesdays. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, there's no shortage of events that the Downtown Detroit Partnership plans. We do over 1,200 events throughout the downtown every year. So that's our beach parties, that's our trivia nights, our movie nights, events that happen at Beacon Park and throughout the downtown, our food truck program, our markets. We have something for everyone, whether you're coming down for a concert and just want to, take in the downtown before you get there, or you're coming down for a night out with your friends.
People who want to know about all these activities, where can they get all that information?
Yeah, you can go on our website, downtowndetroit.org, or you can, we have an Instagram or a Facebook account, so you can follow us online, at anywhere.
You definitely want to follow that because there is just so many cool events that are planned throughout the summer here in Campus Martius Park. So you certainly want to get down here and enjoy the beach oasis. I'm Robin Murdoch reporting for Fox 2 News.
Shakespeare Royal Oak launches its 25th season tonight with a production of the Scottish play Macbeth, with a little bit of a twist. Joining us now is the founder of Shakespeare Royal Oak, Ed Nahat. And thanks for joining us today. Tell us about this show.
Hey, Rob. Thanks a lot for having me on the show. We're doing it steampunk style this year, which is kind of cool. We have an awesome set. It was designed by Monica Essence from the Michigan Opera Theater, all these professional directors and designers and actors from the local area here. The idea is Shakespeare Royal Oak employs our artists. We pay them. We pay them a fee, a check every year, because we believe in professional artists staying in our community. So you'll see the best actors, the best directors and designers putting on a really cool show. Even our set is custom built and custom designed right in the park between two majestic oak trees. So you want to come out and see the show right in the park. You got free parking right there on 13 Mile Road. So I expect you, Rob, to be there sometime this weekend or next.
I asked my intern before I saw that you were going to be on the show, and I asked my intern, I said, look up when Shakespeare lived. And I said, I think he lived in the 1600s. And she told me he was born like 1570 or something, and then he passed away in the 1600s. And most of these plays are from, like 1605. That's 500 years.
Isn't it?
It's amazing that these productions are still going on, and they're still relevant, and they're still entertaining.
What's awesome about it is students learn this material in school even to this day. We have a technical director on our staff who was one of our students when he was a little boy, because we have an education program outdoors in the park where we teach young people how to have safe sword fighting. They do combat, they do soliloquies. These are young kids, 1st grade, 3rd grade, 5th grade. And our technical director, who's 26 years old now, was one of those students. So they learn from an early age, and they acquire it and learn it and love it. So I think Shakespeare is one of those universal artists that we all admire. And 25 years later, Royal Oak still loves Shakespeare. So Shakespeare Royal Oak is a wonderful tradition, and it's affordable. Come on out and you'll enjoy it. Bring your own lawn chair. Rob, you have a lawn chair, don't you?
I do have a lawn chair. I got to tell you right now, I don't believe I've ever seen a Shakespeare production before, so maybe I will come out there. I've read some of the books, and I went to college, so I'm a little bit familiar with all of that, and but I certainly appreciate the longevity and the great storytelling, because boy, you don't look back at a lot of things from 1600, and that's a long time ago. And this, I'm looking at your production on the monitor here. Looks like it's a fairly modern-looking production.
Every year we hire a director who's from the area who has a vision, and we talk about that vision. And you'll see each year we'll have a different actor or a different designer come up with a specific vision. This year it's called steampunk. Now, the vision you see on the screen right now is not what you'll see in the park this year, but you'll see something really cool.
What is steampunk?
Steampunk is the kind of thing you'll see if you look it up, where they have concocted costumes that are sort of old and new combined together, sort of post-apocalyptic cool. And you might not be able to recognize it, but you'll see what we're talking about when you see it. The kind of vests and the oh, by the way, you still have kilts in the Scottish play, Rob. So all the sword fighting is done with kilts. Okay.
Man, I love those kilts, man. They're very comfortable. All right, thank you, Ed Nahat. Shakespeare in the Park in Royal Oak. And when does that run?
It's tonight's opening night, all the way through August 3rd. ShakespeareRoyalOak.com.
And how much will it cost for a ticket?
An adult is $35, so you can. It's an affordable date night.
That's a doggone good price.
And parking is free in the park.
In Royal Oak, parking is free.
I know.
That's the biggest news of all.
Yeah, you can thank us for that.
All right, thank you very much, Ed. Hopefully you have a great success tonight.
Thanks a lot. 25 years. We appreciate it.
Wonderful. And that's all for Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4. Fox 2 News at 5 is next. Have a great day.